Hey, how are ya? Welcome to the post-game spread. I'm your host, Blake Helm, and you guys are tuning in to the Ian Jenkins story. Before we get rolling here, I want to introduce some of our new listeners and tell them kind of what the post-game spread is all about. Started this about 3 years ago as a way to get back into the game, and it's kind of taken a life of its own. But essentially what it is a deep dive into a player's career, someone in baseball, and what they've been through. Our motto is a journey worth remembering. And in some cases, we go back into a player's career and do a true deep dive where I go back and I'll talk with, coaches, parents, teammates, and get clips, get ideas of who they were, stories, things like that. I'll read all the articles, look at all their content, and with the Ian Jenkins story, no different. I did an absolute deep dive on this man. I think his story is absolutely fascinating, and I definitely hear parts of my own story in it. So I thought I was uniquely qualified to help him tell it. So for those of you guys that don't know, Ian Jenkins is your hitting coach's favorite hitting coach. This guy has built an online empire. He's got over 250,000 followers on Instagram. He's still a player if you want to count it. I mean, he just got out of indie ball about a year ago. He's had 1 million surgeries. Essentially what his story was huge tools. I mean, a lot of guys say the most power they've ever seen, just insane. A true 80 on the scale. We're going to get into some stories, but, drafted in the 40th round out of high school, got swept up in the swing revolution, traveled the country, worked with Teacher Man, worked with all kinds of guys trying to find his perfect swing. Ended up 40th round, like I said, to the Reds, didn't sign, went to South Carolina, showed some pop, showed some huge tools, hit a ball over the dang scoreboard there. People still talk about, but that wasn't a fit for him, so more surgeries, ended up at Miami-Dade after that. Some success, but more injuries there. After Miami-Dade, ended up at Lander University in South Carolina. Again, more issues, more surgeries, some success. Ended up with a short stint in indie ball with the Oakland Ballers. And all throughout this whole thing was building this online presence as a hitting coach, selling these programs. So I thought was fascinating, that there's a guy on a college roster that is, pro-worthy hitting coach, and how do you balance that? So I really wanted to do a deep dive into what he learned about himself, going through all the trials and tribulations, learning about the swing. His motto is, I failed so you don't have to. It's absolutely beautiful. So in prep for this, I went back and spoke with Chuck Jenkins, his dad. There's all kinds of heartwarming videos of them, battling back and forth, doing cage stuff. I think a lot of people can relate to that in baseball. Jacob Olson, South Carolina teammate, played in the Cape, was in the Cubs organization for a couple years, followed by some indie ball. Josiah Seitler, South Carolina teammate, just got done with his pro career, had a couple years in the Pirates organization. Noah Campbell, South Carolina teammate, recently wrapped up his pro career, making it to AAA. This guy's going to be a doctor. My man's wicked smart. Jason Burke, former head coach at Lander University, just left, took a scouting role in the Nationals organization, and then finally Adrian Morales, the head coach at Nova Southeastern, Ian's head coach at Miami-Dade, played some pro ball in the Royals organization, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this. I think Ian and I caught a vibe. This is going to be part 1, so we're about halfway through. We get to right before he goes to Miami-Dade, and then we're going to pick that up in part 2. So you guys are going to love this. Ian's a special person in baseball. Here we go. All right, y'all. Welcome back to our family support section. These are families that want to breathe some life into the podcast and keep us rolling. We really appreciate you guys. Here's a list of our roster right now. We're going to start off with the Guernsey family. This is going to be Nate Guernsey, the former baller at Southeast, super swaggy dude, baseball, basketball player. He's got a son coming up, Ivan Guernsey. Look out for this dude. PJ was raving about him being ambidextrous and can throw hard from both sides, and he's playing in the Cardinals organization with Nate and Jason Canela are coaching together right now. So shout out to Nate Guernsey. Appreciate you, my man. Next up would be the Chisholm family. This is John Chisholm. He's done so much for the podcast. It's crazy. John and I came up together, played for the Flames, Springfield High. He went to Spoon River for a little bit and played some ball. He is dad of the year now, coaching every sport he can. His son, John Chisholm III, JC3, talented player coming up in baseball and basketball, doing some travel basketball, playing for the Arsenal, playing for Christ the King, a talented pitcher first baseman with a little bit of pop in his bat there. So we appreciate the Chisholm family. John has helped me set up multiple sponsorships and was solely responsible for the communication that led to the Cam Appenzeller story happening. So shout out to John, good friend of mine. Appreciate you. Next up is going to be the Erickson family. This is going to be Casey's section of the Erickson clan. Casey being my boy, you know, an absolute baseball dog. Glenwood's head coach, played at Glenwood, SCI, was in the Yankees organization, Pirates organization, coached at Benedictine, building his dynasty out there at Chatham now. He's got some absolute dogs coming up. The next wave of Ericksons, look out, Lane, Cooper, Tripp. Been seeing videos of these guys since they were 2-3 years old. Absolutely mashing. All of them can rake, can throw. I've already hearing legends about these guys. Tripp is supposed to be something special. I hear this is the next Corey Erickson 2.0. So look out for these guys. Appreciate the Erickson clan. Next up, Knadlers, Jason Knadler, El Jefe at BOS. Good friend of mine, you know, mentor to me, former guest. Colt Knadler being his son, former guest, Chatham Glenwood, quarterback, now moving on to Lincoln Land. Melissa, the mom, running the show, the CEO of the K team. Claire, talented volleyball player, been starting on varsity at Glenwood as a freshman since her freshman year. CJ, the clown prince of the family. We appreciate the Knadlers' support. Next up, the Steinwart family. Jim Steinwart, my former coach at Springfield High School, Hall of Famer, state title winner, cool guy. He's helped the podcast so much with stats and stories and contributions. We've got a fun system going now where Jim is a flip phone guy. No shame to that at all. But so we do have a system. When I need something from Jim, I text Jim, and then Jim has June, his wife, his lovely wife, send it to me because she has a more normal phone. And that's how we do it. And I appreciate it. And I think it's funny every time we do it. So shout out to June, too. Shout out to Johnny, TJ, Nikki. Johnny's was a stud baseball player, played at UIS out there at Plains. TJ's a drummer. Shout out to Nikki as well. The Blazes family. Katie, we appreciate your support. She's got a young son, Brady Keating, coming up in the SHG system. He's a quarterback, linebacker, was on their freshman, sophomore teams this last year. Also a stud pitcher, doing some things with Maximized Pitching Labs. Look out for that guy. Katie's dad was an absolute stud at SHG back in the day. Did all sports, and then basketball at SCI and golfed at Western. Really appreciate your continued support. The Kaiser family, my guy Ryan. Dude's got a rap album coming out. Check out for that, KO. Absolute baseball guy. His whole garage is like made to look like a Wrigley Field type of place to view games. Super cool. Landon, his son's coming up in the Arsenal organization at Franklin. Little baller. Addie is going to play some softball for me and coach pitch, I think, this next year. And then Mandy's been coaching for the Arsenal and doing stats and doing her dang thing for years now. So we appreciate the Kaiser family and their support. Last but not least, Tyler Owen and his lovely family. Tyler being a teammate of mine at Murray State back in the day. You know, an absolute dude, stud, OBC many times over. His brother played in the show. One of those guys that was kind of like on the verge of being like a pro guy, you know. But he's got some sons coming up. Everett and Ellis coming up in the South Gibson Heat organization. My man T.O. is coaching at North High School. I think they just won a state title or were runners-up in the last year or two. So doing his thing. We appreciate you guys. Let me run down my sponsors real quick because this is a national podcast. I will just mention my local sponsors here. So Washco Strength and Speed, Body Symmetry, Sheehan Lawyers, Milner Dentistry, the law offices of Stephen Kelly, Bank of Springfield, Sitco Chiropractic, Glisten Heating and Air, Eric Easley, the chiropractor, the Office Sports Bar and Grill, Hammers Radon Mitigation, BSN Sports, Cardinal Cleaning, The Crafted Stag, GT Performance Consulting, Grab a Java, Safe House, Illinois, Nate Guernsey, the Realtor, Salvaggio Steel, the Springfield Shamrocks organization, and Overtime with Jared out there. We appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hey, y'all. I want to do a quick shout out to our sponsors. This podcast is interesting in that I do hometown stories. I'm located in central Illinois, but I also do national stories as well. So for our national stories, I'm going to do a quick run over of my local sponsors. So if you see a need, I'm in the Springfield, Illinois area. Washco Strength and Speed, the premier baseball athletic trainer guy in the area. He's incredible. Overtime Training Academy, that's where Jared trains out of. That's where Washco is based out of. Body Symmetry, probably one of the most well-rounded trainers in Springfield, Illinois. It's Chad Marshik. Love the guy. Milner Dentistry. Ty Milner played at U of I. Cool guy. He's my dentist. Bank of Springfield, BOS, Bank Boldly. They got a whole team of former pro baseball players over there. Sitco Chiropractic, the best chiros in town. Love these guys. Grew up with Kyle and Casey. Glisson Heating and Air. This is Gibbs Glisson, Pleasant Plains guy. He's done my system. He did my parents' system. Incredible. Eric Easley, the realtor. He'll get you right. Go see him for all your realtor needs. The Office Sports Bar and Grill, the best sports bar and grill in Springfield, Illinois. All the cool memorabilia on the walls. Love that place. Hammers, radon mitigation. That's my boy Les Hammer, Springfield firefighter. He gets it done with the radon. Cardinal Cleaning, Adam Springer, former baseball dude. They can handle all the cleaning needs you got. GT Performance Consulting. That's Greg Taylor, former guest, played at Louisville. He's got a mental performance consulting firm. Awesome stuff for young athletes. Safe House, Illinois. That's Dave House. They're doing inspections. When you're selling your house. Cool guy. Grew up playing with him. Head coach at Landfear. Hudson Chiropractic. Seth Hudson, former Murray State great. That's located in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. The Shamrocks baseball organization, they are out of Overtime. They've got all kinds of different ages. Walt Patton is associated with them, former guest, former pro. Flow Yoga, the best yoga place in town. Love those guys. Finally, Hurwitz Enterprises. We appreciate you guys. A true baseball family. All those three brothers played, high-level guys. We appreciate all our sponsors. Thank you. All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Post Game Spread. This is a very special episode to me. This is going to be the Ian Jenkins story sitting across from me here. I believe I first got a hold of Ian back in August. So a good 5 to 6 months of prep work, getting this right. For those of you guys that don't know, this is your favorite hitting coach's favorite hitting coach. This is Ian Jenkins. Huge following on social medias. Had an incredible journey through baseball himself, and that's kind of why I wanted to have him on. So for those of you guys that don't know, what the post-game spread is a deep dive into a player's journey through the game, what they learned about themselves through the way. There's so much failure and lessons taught within the game that I thought there's so many people out there that have awesome journeys through baseball, and I want to know what they learned about themselves, about life along the way. So we've got all kind of different formats. So right now I'm doing the Ian Jenkins story, but a couple weeks ago I did Charlie Isom McCall, the OBC Freshman of the Year. I did Ben Hartle, a Rangers minor leaguer, a week ago. I did Will Platner, the catcher at Alabama right now. I'm working on Mike, the recording artist, formerly Mike Stud, who has the ERA record at Duke still, 1.61. We're going to be doing that in about a week. That's going to be insane. Stroman's on that. I'm working on a story for Rich Hill, 20-year big leaguer, just hung him up. I'm working on a story for Daniel Nava, who played indie ball and ended up in the show, first at bat, grand slam. Finally, Colt Knadler, a local high schooler that I think is going to be a big leaguer someday. So all kinds of walks of life of guys from baseball, looking at their journeys, getting deep into it. It all started from my own journey too. I had a wild ride through baseball myself. Murray State, five surgeries in college, big time tools. I had a journey too, and I wanted to help others tell their stories too. So in prep, who I spoke to, you're going to hear clips from throughout this whole podcast. Chuck Jenkins, your dad. Everyone loves seeing all the clips that you put out of you guys doing the BP together, man. So touching. So many guys grew up, their relationship with their dad was formed through chasing baseball. So we're going to get into that. Jacob Olson, South Carolina teammate, played in the Cape, was in the Cubs organization for a couple years in indie ball. Josiah Seitler, South Carolina teammate, just got done with pro ball, had a couple years in the Pirates organization. Noah Campbell, really cool guy. South Carolina teammate, recently wrapped up his pro career, making it to AAA with the Brewers. And he's looking at getting into medical school. Incredible. All three of those guys have worked with you in some capacity too, with some of your business adventures, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Campbell,
sorry, go ahead.
Noah Campbell and Josiah Seitler. Yeah.
Yep. Jason Burke, who was the head coach at Lander University, but just recently left to join the Nationals organization as a scout.
Yeah.
Incredible dude. Adrian Morales, the head coach at Nova Southeastern, but was your head coach at Miami-Dade, played pro ball in the Royals organization. And then, so here, I got a little write up about why I think the story is interesting and near and dear to my heart. I hear pieces of my story in it. I know how soul crushing my baseball experience was with all the injuries. I had the tools too, and the quest to find the perfect hitting mechanics, dude. I got so lost in that game. And I know you've gotten lost and also been found. So I know all about that. It's fascinating. Your injury started in high school, from what I think I know. You searched the country for hitting mechanics, like was going all over the place looking to get the perfect swing. Your dad even laughed as you said, looking back now, at one point you said you were swinging at airplanes and funny stuff like that, man. Yeah, right. An interesting college career too, dude. Really fascinating. So drafted out of high school by the Reds, you ended up at South Carolina, more injuries. Ended up at Miami-Dade after that, some success but more injuries. Then Lander, a D2, again, some success, more injuries, all while building this incredible hitting platform that you've built online. I thought that's fascinating that you're in college and are one of the most sought after hitting coaches out there. So I want to know how it all was for you battling the injuries, having these tools but not being able to use them, all while using your experience to help others. The tagline "I failed so you don't have to" is so chef's kiss, my man. So anyway, can't wait to get into your story. Fascinating. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's been wondering what it is. So what's up, my brother? How are you doing? How you doing today? Are you ready to get rocking here?
And excellent. I appreciate you having me on, and you've obviously done your research, man.
I
So
have.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool, man. We're gonna go on a journey here. Before we get into some of the questions and stuff, and we start at the very start here. I would love to hear a little bit about and tell our listeners out here what all you have going right now. I know you got a million, flames in the fire, coals in the fire here. So tell us what all is the Ian Jenkins empire going on right now.
Yeah. So most importantly, my online program, the Freak Athlete Protocol. It's a remote training program where we basically train guys through our app. It's weightlifting, hitting, nutrition, and speed stuff. All metrics are guaranteed based on like their length of program, whether it's like 6 or 12 months.
Yeah.
And we train kids through that. We've trained a little over 700 kids in the last 17 months. So it's
Wow.
been really fun. We've changed a lot of lives. I think that the most rewarding thing from this entire journey has just been like the feedback that I've gotten from just like putting my story out there, just like
Yeah.
genuinely trying to help people, and them saying like the cues that I give in like work and like the kids in my program, they'll send me a message every day saying, "Hey, I gained this," or "I gained this," or "Hey, I'm
Right.
committed to a school now." Like that stuff is invaluable because like
Yeah.
I post content for the 17-year-old version of Ian, right?
Oh, that's what's
And
up. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So in for that to help guys, it's next level. But circling back to your original question, the Freak Athlete Protocol, my online program, is the main thing right now, and then
Yeah.
everything is basically building off of that.
Okay. And then privately, I hope this is okay that I share this, but you've talked about still being on a quest possibly to get back into baseball as a player again. You had a short stint in indie ball, some more injuries came. Is that still on the horizon or where are you at with that?
You know, we're still in the middle right now.
Yeah.
My knees aren't doing what I want them to right now.
Yeah.
They're not cooperating. So there's a little bit of that in there, but I got time, man. I got time. So I think that's
Yeah.
the beautiful part. And the thing is, contrary to popular belief, I have no like burning desire to be a major league baseball player.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy. All I want to do is get in the box with somebody who's trying to strike me out and play at the highest level I can play and just do that. Like I
Yeah.
just want to compete, whatever that is. If it's indie ball, if it's double A, if I could do that for
Yeah.
the rest of my life, I'd be happy. I don't care what level it is. I just love the art of the game and the craft, and that's what I'm here for.
Oh man. I love that. Like, what is a typical day in the life like for you these days? Like, I'd love to hear that before we
So
get going,
me,
really.
I have not been in my routine as of the last 3 months, just because with the holidays, I just recently moved. I'm getting a cage in the backyard. I got a gym going up. I got all these things. I've been
Yeah.
at all these events and whatnot. So
Yeah.
my routine has not been there. But when I get back on track and everything's
Yeah.
set up, get up around 9, get a workout in. I'm going to do my own program, Freak Athlete Protocol, because I'm trying to hit the baseball 130 miles per hour. That is a goal of mine.
Yeah.
So I do that, and then basically, it's a almost like a biohacking routine. I'm basically like putting myself in the lab and trying to make myself the best version of myself. I got all my
I love
meals
it.
laid out and like what time I should eat them and whatnot. Like I can show you
Yeah.
my. Okay, so this seems a little bit crazy right here, right? But this is my Google Calendar for the day, right? So,
Wow.
um, I I take pre-workout at 8:30, resistance training at 9, post-workout recovery. Then I take my first coffee at 10. Deep work block, so content, business stuff like talking to the team and whatnot.
Yeah.
At 11 or at 10:30, then I get another meal, another deep work block at 1:30, another meal at 4, and then I have cardio at 5. I just got a cold tub, so I'm gonna
Oh,
start doing
nice.
cold tub at 6 now,
Sick. Good for you.
right before I start to wind down a little bit. Third meal at 7:30, and then I wind down and relax. And that's
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 it.
what we're working with. Yeah.
And you're based out of, are you in the Phoenix area? Or where you at?
Yeah, so I'm in Queen Creek more specifically, but about
Okay.
and you know what? I'm awful with the geography here. I have no clue. I'm gonna say something wrong, but we're like 30, 40 minutes away
Okay.
from
Gotcha.
Phoenix.
Okay, cool, man. So detailed down to the minute, man. You got a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right,
Mm-hmm.
man. I'm so excited to get into this. Like I said, one of the stories that I've always wanted to tell. I thought it was so fascinating. Love the stuff with your dad. So let's start at the very beginning here. Tell me a little bit about your family growing up and what life was like. And I've got a few funny clips to play as we go here. So I'd love to hear a little bit of snapshot.
Yeah. So really quick, I grew up. I have the two sisters, younger sister, older sister.
Yeah.
Both parents were. Mom played softball, dad played baseball. So I was pretty. I think my dad told me at one point that he basically married my mom because she had a great baseball genetic. She's like, "Oh, my son's gonna have a lot of power. She's strong.
He
So
told
let's
me
do
that
that,
too.
right?"
Yeah.
Right. Everything strategic over here, man. But yeah, so I started playing baseball at 3. I had a stutter and lisp growing up, so there was some confidence issues there, and I wasn't really that good of a
Really?
baseball player. Yeah, it's kind of funny now because I speak on camera for a living.
Right. Yeah. I would
But
never guess that.
yeah, so my dad actually put me into wrestling in like 3rd grade, and I got my butt kicked for like the first 2 months, and after like being tired of losing and my back against the wall, my dad wouldn't let me quit. Like I had to fight back. So I might as well start winning. Like I'm not going to go and get my butt kicked every day. So when I
Right.
started fighting back, I started winning matches and then I started getting more confidence in myself. Fast forward a year later, I'm like a 2-time national champion in wrestling and my stutter and lisp is just kind of going away because I have like just more confidence as a person. Right.
Really?
So like sports is like in my opinion, sports is a microcosm of life and like the lessons that you learn are universal. So that's really what I'm trying to do with my content. Like baseball is my vehicle to give young
Yeah.
men, the lessons and, tools they need for the rest of their life. Right.
Yeah.
Um,
The great teacher, man.
baseball's just my vehicle,
Baseball.
right. Yeah,
Man. Yeah.
exactly. But getting back to my family, we're super, super close. All of us played ball. My sister and I would have hitting competitions in the basement. We'd hit holes through our freaking wall down there. My mom hated she would never come down. We were competing since 5.
Yeah.
I just grinding, man, getting after it. 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
I really didn't start eating her till high school, like you said. But family side, that's a little bit of it.
That's a great snapshot. Your dad shared all that. Let me share this first clip. He gets it from his
Mhm.
mama. It echoes everything you just said. So perfect. Here we go. I'm gonna play this. Here's Chuck Jenkins.
Ian had his mom's genes, right? I told you her family was strong. Well, the first time I saw his mom, I started dating his mom. I went out to one of her co-ed softball games, and she was the only person on the team that hit home runs. I was like, what? Over the men's field, 300 plus.
Oh wow.
I was intimidated. But again, I'm still in love, right? That's our uncles, right? Right? Skylar got my genes. It's about speed and quickness. People won't now. They don't know me when I was young. I was pretty fast.
Yeah.
Speed and quickness and strong arm. So Skylar got my genes. Ian got his mom's genes. So those are the things I'd like to relate.
Funny to hear that.
Hang in there.
Okay. This next one is called "Let Him Throw." Here we go.
Mm.
When did he start showing some athletic promise? When did he get introduced to the game? Did you have a ball in his crib? That kind of stuff.
Funny you should say that. I was his mother used to get mad at me because when he was a toddler, I used to let him throw anything he wanted to in the house. She hated it, right? That kid's got a strong arm, and he doesn't know where it's going, but he's got a strong arm, right?
Yeah.
So really, it started at about the age of 4,
Okay.
And Ian has always been buffed, to be honest with you, for his age. He's always
Yeah.
been kind of buffed. As a matter of fact, the short story is it was love at first sight when I met his mom, because it wasn't so much her. She took me home to meet her family. She had 63-year-old uncles, and they were all, I mean, just chiseled. I was like, I'm in love.
That's good.
So Ian got some of that genetics, and so he's
That's
always
awesome.
been pretty, yeah. He's
Thinking
always
ahead.
been, yeah, there you go, man. He's always been pretty strong, and
Yeah.
at 4 years old, it was T-ball, but man, he could hit it a long way. So I said, yeah, there's something there. So that's what I noticed.
Okay.
Mhm.
I love that kind of stuff, man. Do you feel like you've already mentioned your earliest memories of baseball in the basement, or do you have anything earlier than that?
Oh man. I actually remember my first home run. It was so weird.
Let's go.
So my first home run, we were playing Pee Wee, and I think it was a 3-0 count. Okay. And my dad looks over at me. He's not even coach. He's like, just swing and miss. Just like, don't swing and miss. Never heard this before on a 3-0 count, right?
Really?
So dude throws a fastball like 3 feet outside. I swing and miss, right? On purpose. So I'm still in the count. Next pitch, fastball down the middle, home run
Cocks
left
it.
center field. Yeah. And I just like get around the bases. I'm completely clueless at this point. Like I really don't I know what's going on, but I really don't. I haven't like internalized it. I just hit my first home run. And then after the game, I got back and I'm like, Dad, you just hit my first home run. And he's like, yeah, I told you so. And I remember just like sitting there, like in disbelief that I thought this dude could like predict the future after that, right? Because he's told me. And I hit the next one out. I'm like, why don't I just listen to him all the time?
Well, hey,
Then I saw him
you
at
should
14.
have taken that advice, because later on we're going to get to this. And Chuck said, your dad, that you stopped listening to him in high school when the hitting stuff.
Yep.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, very accurate. 14 to be exact.
Lessons that you learn as you get older, man. That's hilarious. So then when do you feel like you first fell in love with the game? You were like, man, this is my thing.
Yeah. So for a long time, wrestling was actually my favorite sport.
Really?
Until about like 11 or 12, because that's like when I really found my confidence in baseball. Is something that I was just really good at, and that my dad and I could bond through baseball, because he played baseball at the collegiate level, so there was a lot there. But wrestling was like really where I found like I feel like the essence of being like learning how to fight back and that grind.
Ooh,
And
there you
then
go.
got to be like 11 or 12, and my baseball coach at East Coast Astros was like, hey, either you got to pick, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up I stopped playing baseball. I stopped wrestling at 11. I ended up coming back wrestling later, but I probably fell in love with baseball, really fell in love with the swing the moment I stopped listening to my dad. That's when everything changed. I found hitting Twitter at 14 years old, and I fell in love with it. And everything my
Twitter.
dad said.
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And when I saw, cause I'd gotten injured and I couldn't play. And this is really like where it happened. I got injured and had a lot of free time. I couldn't hit. So all I could do was just study and look at video. And then I found hitting Twitter. And I remember the first time I ever saw the barrel go back, like lay down as the hands were coming, right? I've never even seen the barrel do that before. And I saw that. I was like,
blow your mind.
Everything in my death wrong. These guys are right. I'm sold out on this.
Dude. Man, that's incredible. I remember there was an article that came out around that swing revolution time, talking about Donaldson and how the barrel was working rearward. And it like broke my brain. I was like, this goes against everything I've ever been taught, everything I think I know. I've given lessons before and told, the opposite of that. And then when you look at the video, you're like, I can't refute that. The barrel is working backwards. It's blurring behind you. This is the path is not direct to the ball. There's all kinds of things that were just hard for me to wrap my mind around. And then I was like, I got to relearn the swing. And I had already, finished college baseball and been done for a while. And I was like, I need to learn how to hit again. So fascinating stuff there. But you found that as like a 13, 14-year-old?
So yeah, as 13, 14-year-old.
Okay.
And to add on to that, you mentioned the Donaldson thing. That was a huge thing for me when he came out with the that special on like was it Baseball Tonight, where he like broke down his hitting mechanics.
What do you tell your 10-year-old coach? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
Just don't hit ground balls. What do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if he tells you hit the ball on the ground, tell him no.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
there
it.
you go, there you
Yeah, tell him
go.
no.
And I remember watching that, and I would watch it every single morning. I sat down and I took notes on it, and that's when I first started taking video. I put my swing
Dude.
next to his, and I noted
Yep.
all the differences, and I took a screenshot of every frame of his swing, and I put it all around my room. So when I wake up in the morning, I was watching the video, and then I'd look up and I'd
Really?
see all these frames, and I'd have like a bat in my room, and like that's what I'd be
Wow.
doing. And that is where the madness started. It's from being injured and having too much time not actually apply anything and just come up with a bunch of theories.
That's where the madness started?
Yeah, absolutely.
How old? Were you 13, 14?
13, 14, yeah.
The madness started. That's
Mhm.
hilarious. So, you mentioned East Cobb in there. For those of you
Yep.
guys that don't know, the storied East Cobb program down in Georgia cranked out pros and college guys. So you were in that system pretty early?
I was in that system pretty early. It was back when there was a lot less teams. East Cobb was still owned by East Cobb,
Uh-huh.
and that was a mecca of travel ball, and I was on the East Cobb Astros.
Yeah. Okay. Then do you have any special memories, teams, moments, coaches from Little League that you think are important?
Ooh, ooh, let's see. Um, yeah, quick story. Quick story. I played with a kid. I've known him since I was 6 years old. Initially, he was really good. When he got to be like 11, 12, he wasn't as good. And then when he got in high school, not a very good baseball player at all. Barely
Yeah.
made the freshman team, barely made the sophomore team. Really small, was like 5'1", a buck 25, but he
Yeah.
like kept busting his butt, kept working hard. I ended up transferring schools, come back 2 years later. His senior year, he's 6'4", 225, throws 95 from the outfield, runs a 6'4", 600 his senior year of high school. And the only reason I believe he had success then was because he like just kept busting his butt. So by the time like his clock actually hit, like puberty actually caught up to him, and he got
Yeah.
his gifts, he could use them because he already put in the work and he never stopped. And now,
Wow.
out of all my friends today, he has the most big league time, and his name is Brandon Marsh.
Brandon Marsh? That's that guy?
Yep, yep, that's that guy.
Great flow.
That's
Great
that
flow on
guy.
that dude. No shit.
Oh,
Really?
great flow. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Brandon Marsh was not always the best. When we were really
Yeah.
young, he was really good, and then he kind of tatered off a little bit because he was smaller than everybody. And then
Yeah.
late in high school, he shot up, and now he is what he is today.
Came roaring back. Okay, man, that's
Oh yeah.
incredible. I'd like to circle back a little bit about the family genes there. Tell me, did
Mhm.
both your sisters play college base or college softball or something like that?
Yeah. So my older sister, not so much a softball lifer, but she did play some college softball. I think she played about a year.
Okay.
And then my younger sister played softball all growing up and through college.
Okay. And then your dad was your dad played some baseball too. Tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
Mama and her athletic background. That was
Yeah.
hilarious hearing Chuck talk about her hitting 300-foot bombs against dudes.
Mhm. Yeah. So my mom is from Tennessee. She's from the sticks. She's from the country. There's not much like organized sports out there. So they're just going out there and they're country strong and they just hit homers, right? I don't know if she like played organized softball, but I know that she always played softball growing up just because like the
Really?
very rural area she lived in.
Okay.
So I don't know like exactly what that looked like. But I know that at my 9-year-old birthday party, like we had a home run derby and she was knocking balls over the fence further than we were. It was pretty fun. But yeah, so I don't know too much about my mom's softball background. I just always known that she could swing it. And then my
Yeah.
dad played baseball at the Citadel and had his first
Yeah.
start. He was 16 years old. He probably didn't tell you that, but yeah,
I think he did mention something like that. Yeah, he had a cool story.
yeah, he was super young in
Yeah.
college. Super
Okay.
young.
Okay. When did pro obviously baseball grabbed you. When did pro baseball become the goal?
Even though baseball wasn't my favorite sport, like initially, I
Yeah.
always thought that I was going to play professional baseball just because like I was, I struggled at first, but then I got really good after like I sucked in T-ball, but after T-ball, I was
Yeah.
pretty good. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to play professional baseball. I thought I was gonna be a two-sport athlete. Okay. This was delusional Ian back in the day. I thought I was Bo Jackson, honestly. I thought I was going to play
Yeah.
professional football, professional baseball. I was going to do that for 3 years, retire, and then be a professional bodybuilder. That was my plan.
That's a plan?
But yeah, so to answer your question in a roundabout
Yeah.
way, I always felt that I was going to be a professional baseball player, even though it wasn't my favorite sport at first. It just
Yeah.
came most natural.
Um, even though it was a short stint with the Oakland Ballers, is it still cool that even if that doesn't happen again, was it cool that you did get a short stint in professional baseball? Is that something that you cherish at all or?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it didn't go the way that I wanted. I
Right.
came in injured and trying to battle through it. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I think it's incredible that I got the opportunity, especially with the unorthodox path, right? Like
Yeah.
I
Talk about it.
got injured, had an awful senior year, and somehow found my way into pro ball. Probably thank
Yeah.
you to social media. But regardless, like I got to say that I played professional baseball. You know, I
Yeah.
got to get in the box and a pro pitcher trying to strike me out. And at the end of the day, that's all I want.
I totally agree, brother. I can't wait to ask this question. One of the ones that I most wanted to ask, and special to me because I think so many out there, their relationships were partly formed with their fathers, especially in baseball, chasing the dream, going to the cage with your dad, playing catch with your dad, rides home with your dad, talking about all these things, the support. I even laugh about how you've talked about how you and your dad will, bark at each other in the cage, and your dad even shared some laughs about how you guys will get after it, and then a couple of days later get back together, and the cool videos. You recently shared a video of you hitting a 500-foot tank off a front flip with your
Yeah.
dad, and it's just beautiful.
Mhm.
I would love to hear you talk about that relationship and how it was formed around baseball and how it's so special.
Yeah.
If you could.
So my dad told me that he's been thinking about me since he was 9 years old, because he
Really?
grew up without a father. So
Yeah.
he did not want that to happen. He grew up without a father, and he was always the youngest in his grade. So
Yeah.
I grew up with a father who was very involved, and I got held back in 8th grade, so I could be the older in my class instead of the younger.
Mhm.
So my dad did that. But man, it was incredible. It was truly a way that we could bond. And when I listened to him when I was young, man, I was electric. I was a very good baseball player. I
Yeah.
never swung and missed. I was super consistent. The only thing I had the yips as a catcher. That was the only pitfall.
Really?
Just could not put the ball back to the pitcher, dude. It was miserable, bro. I couldn't feel the ball in my hand. I'd be like, but if you ask me to throw it 100 miles an hour, my pop time elite. Throwing it back to the pitcher, not happening. Uh, One thing that did fix it, a catcher named Michael Barrett was my coach back in the day. He was a
With MLB Michael
caught for the
Barrett?
MLB Michael Barrett. He's the one who fought
I
AJ
know him.
Przinsky.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He told me, he's like, Ian, just throw the ball back as hard as you can to the pitcher. So I'm that catcher, and I get up and I am firing the ball as hard as I can back to the pitcher. 'Cause that's the only way that I can control it. And the pitcher is pissed, dude. He is pissed. But going back to my dad and I,
Yeah.
yeah, so I listened to him with hitting, and we were very in tune until I was about 14 when I got my first injury.
Yeah.
And then that's when we started butting heads. I started hitting QB. I started smelling myself. I thought that I was smart and capable. I had a little bit of success, and I thought, like, this old dude doesn't know anything. Like, he
Right.
played base. There weren't even cameras when he played baseball. Like, he
Right.
can't even prove the stuff. He can't even prove to me what his pattern was, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
anything he said to me, I thought didn't apply, right?
Right.
So from 14 in high school, we just like butt heads a lot, but no matter what, we don't still always come back to each other. Like we fight
Yeah.
for a few nights. My mom and sister would get pissed about it, right? Because at the dinner table, all we're talking about is a swing. Like wherever we go, it's all we're talking about is a swing. And we're arguing about it. We're butting heads. The thing is, like, we won't agree on it, but we will not stop trying to convince each other of like
Really?
our point of view. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't stop. And then after it goes on for a few days, we'll stop and then come back, hit again. Things will be fine, right?
That's what he
But
says. Yeah.
he's my best friend that way, because what I didn't realize growing up was he was the advantage that I had over everyone else, because I had a father who was really in tune with my swing. He
Yeah.
knew what I looked like when I was going well. He knew what it looked like when I wasn't going well. And I
Yeah.
thought that he was against me for so long. And that's just not true at all. I felt like every time he gave me a critique was him telling me that I was wrong. And that couldn't be more like
Right.
further from the truth. Like, this is the one guy who
Yeah.
unconditionally loves me and he cares way more than anybody else on the field. So anytime he's saying something, like, it's coming from a really good place.
Yeah.
And so talking about that relationship a little bit in high school, when he would say something to me, I would allow myself to get emotional, and I would go the opposite direction, and it hurt me a lot. Now that I'm a much older man now, I still get triggered when he critiques me, but I know how to handle it. When he says something to me and I feel like I'm getting
Yeah.
emotionally triggered, that's when I shut up. I'm like, oh, Ian, that's when you need to listen more. Like, that's
Really?
what the universe is. That's what God is telling you. So whenever he like gives me a critique and I like feel triggered about it, the more triggered I feel, the more I will listen, because I think it's going to make that much more of a difference. And that has paid dividends for me, just shutting up and listening to experience. Because, like, at the end of the day, like my opinion is our parents are a cheat code, dude. Like they've already
But
gone through life. They've done all these things, right? They had the trials and errors and all this, and all they're doing is just giving you things that have already worked after the trial and error, right? And if I
yeah,
can take that and piggyback off that, how much further will I be ahead of my peers? Instead of starting at step one, my dad's 40 years old. I start step 40, and I can build off of that, right? But it took me
yeah.
so long to realize that, and I had to hit under the Mendoza line a few times to figure that out.
Dude, that was absolutely incredible introspection. So the more you feel like you're getting in your feelings from your dad's critiques, that's your cue to be quiet and listen. That's
Mhm,
fascinating,
mhm.
man. Okay, I've got some awesome clips here to play. Chuck's got some things to say here, so let's go
Yeah.
a tale as old as time. Then this is a fun question for me because
Mm.
my relationship with my father was heavily built around baseball, and I can see similarities between you and your son, and like battling in the batting cage and barking at each other and being like, my dad doesn't know shit, like someone else knows more than my dad eventually. And then just these funny moments. And then he's also shown videos recently of you guys still doing stuff together. And like, he's like, oh, I found my perfect swing with my dad, and stuff like that. Take me through this father-son relationship that you guys have built around baseball and in the cage and some of the funny shenanigans. I'd love to hear some of that.
Yeah, it was great until high school because he would listen to me and I would tell him all the time, look, nobody in this world has seen more of your swings than me. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
I am a perfect hitting coach. I've just seen a lot of your swings. I know how you move. I know how you move with other sports. I know how you think. I know how you perceive. And I said, nobody's seen more swings than me, even you, because you're too busy swinging. I'm watching and recording, right? So, so it was good until high school. But at high school, he's put on a little bulk. He was chiseled. I'm talking stud.
Yeah.
And he figured I'd buck that out. I'm not. Whatever you say, that stuff doesn't work anymore. They don't do that. They
Right.
did that back in the Negro Leagues. They don't work anymore. Okay, go ahead and roar, lion,
That's
young lion.
great.
Go ahead and roar.
You said that to your dad that was back in the
I
Negro
never,
League days?
I might be exaggerating. I might have not said Negro Leagues.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was mad at him, I might have said that. I don't know.
Hysterical.
Oh my
That's
God,
good.
that's so perfect, dude. Okay. You got anything to say on that clip or anything to add?
No, just Dad, you'll probably watch this. I'm sorry for being a little prick for all those years and not listening to you.
Okay, this next one here is Chuck calling you out. I'm not even gonna tell you what it's called, but here it is.
Oh, okay.
One of the examples I used to use, but he's making money off right now. He's never giving me a dime. Was Newton's Cradle, which is a series of balls suspended. Right?
Yes, he
Boom.
loves using that. Yes.
Yeah, I could kill him. He never gave me a dime off of
So
it.
you're the one that it's from you?
Oh yeah. I bought
hear
him
it.
one of those. So I took Newton's Cradle. Basically, it's just a transfer of power and force. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But from a moving object to a steady object. And if they're both moving, then your shoulders never catch up, right?
Yeah.
So if I control it, right, it's right under my chin. I know where it is. Boom, I got you.
Yeah.
My eyes are back here.
Right.
We used to use our T. I used to make him put his elbow on the T. Don't move that elbow because this will move.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't move. This has to be knocked off and replaced by that.
Uh-huh.
And that got him hitting. He hit his first home run was his right field in South Carolina. I forget who they were playing against. 431 feet. Whew. And then he hit a double down the line and then a curveball that was nasty. He bent down to one knee and lifted it into left field, a line drive left field. So it was 3 for 4 that day.
Wow.
And so those are that sticks out.
Absolutely.
In terms of home runs. And there are others, man. There are others.
Hey man, Chuck needs some credit. What's up?
Yeah, he needs some credit for the Newton's Cradle thing right there. Yeah. He showed it to me when I was young. Listen, everything that I come up with is stuff that my dad and I have figured out through the years and talked about through the years. I'm just a little bit younger and a little bit better at saying it to the younger generation that he is. That's about it.
Yeah. It sounds like your dad is deep down the rabbit hole of hitting too. So it's fascinating that you guys have come up with some.
He's retired and he'll call me at 3 in the morning, 2 in the mornings. Look at this bond swing. I see something right here. Like
Yeah.
we're far removed, but we're addicted to it,
Yeah.
man.
Oh man. Speaking of bonds, I love your bonds takes, and even you had a take one time about how Barry loves to talk about that top hand, that let out top hand being on top, which is what when you look at the video, I don't think it is that, but you had a theory one time
Yeah.
where you were talking about his head position and how he saw the ball, and maybe like to him, it did feel like that top hand was coming from up here as opposed to rocking like that. But I never heard
Wow.
anyone else say that. That was
That's
fascinating.
awesome that you remember that.
Oh
That is
yeah.
freaking incredible that you remember that. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. So,
I'm watching,
like the
buddy.
orientation head, like I think makes all the difference because if you
Yeah.
notice when he's in his stance, he's upright like this and he thinks he's like hitting down with his top hand like that.
Right.
Right.
But then he goes
But when he like does
posture.
his thing, he goes like this. So
Yeah,
when
he
he
coils
goes
up.
down, it's like it lays down a little bit, but he still feels like if you turn it, he's here, but he's like
Yes,
that, right?
dude.
Yeah, and then gravity and centrifugal force happens, so the barrel's gonna get below the
Yeah.
hands at some point. But I think it's just all perception, really.
I remember thinking like that was profound, and I never heard anyone else say it like that, and it made total sense to me. So thank you for the enthusiasm on that too, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
Yeah,
love it, dude. No, this is my love.
I knew we were gonna geek out on some hitting today, man.
Yeah,
Let's get into some high school stuff. Or when did your first injuries, was that about 13, 14, or when did that start?
first injury, I can't remember if it was 13 or 14, but it was that year as my
Was it
freshman
your
year in
knee?
high school. I broke a bone in my foot in half, and I ended up having surgery. Got 2 screws put in, and I had a
Yeah.
cast on for 9 months, from my toes all the way up to my knee on my left
Really?
foot.
How'd that
Yeah,
happen?
right. Um, I had just finished wrestling practice because I started wrestling in my freshman year of high school, and I went out
Yeah.
to baseball tryouts the same day, and I made a play behind the plate because I was still catching, still yipped up, still catching, and I
Okay.
jumped up in the air and I landed, and my shin jammed down into my foot and cracked the bone in half. Just absolutely bizarre.
Wow. Yeah.
And that was my first surgery, first major injury.
And you've had a
Yeah,
ton of freak injuries, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Man, dude.
all non yeah,
Something else that we have in common that I found fascinating is I'm hypermobile too. And
yep,
I
there you
ended
go.
up a lot. So I'm a very bursty, twitchy guy. And I ended up the orthos explained it to me the same way they explained it to you, I think, in terms of like, if you're a really bursty, quick twitch guy and you're hypermobile, your joints can get into some bad positions and positions where you're
Mhm.
going to get hurt and things are at the very end range of their motion with your muscles, tendons, and ligaments. And that's why I ended up breaking and tearing a lot of stuff too. And that's kind of what you've said. Is that pretty accurate?
That's spot on, man. That's
Yeah,
spot on. That and not picking up my feet when I run.
really.
Those 2 things. Yeah.
Okay. That
Yeah.
too. Okay. Then, so
Mhm.
then moving through high school, like how many surgeries did we have in high school?
Ooh, I think I only had 3 in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I said 3 in
Foot,
high school.
one of them was a knee, right?
I had foot and 2 knees. Yeah.
Two knees.
Uh,
Okay.
right foot once and then right knee twice.
Okay. And then you were at multiple high schools. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yep. I went to Buford High School and then I transferred to Collinsville High School back to in my district when we moved.
Why the switch? The change?
Yeah. Oh, we moved as a
Just
family.
moved? Okay. It wasn't
Yeah.
baseball related or I need to be here or
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Mm-mm.
When did so high school career, when did like the college attention start, pro attention, stuff like that?
Yeah. So it was really, really backwards. I remember in maybe my sophomore year, like a little bit when I got to get on the field a little bit, I was the same size I am now. I was
Yeah.
220 pounds roughly. And
Yeah.
the coach at Georgia at the time said he looks too much like a football player and he needs to lean out. And that was the first thing that I ever heard from college coaches. I'm like, I didn't think that was going to be a thing because I'm in 10th grade, I looked pretty good, I thought, but he said I need to
Yeah.
lean out. It was the first thing I ever heard. But then moving forward, I actually got pro interest before I got college interest. So I had pro scouts talking to me and I did not have a college scholarship. And I thought that I was like, this is the most backwards thing ever. Really because I hadn't played much.
Right.
I think that had something to do with it. And they just saw the body and they're like, okay, there's got to be something. He moves like a baseball player. He's got some baseball IQ,
Yeah.
right? So that started happening my senior year, and I did not get my first offer until September of my senior year in the high school, um, and I got it through posting my a home run I hit on Perfect Game. They reposted it, and then 10
Really?
days later, I was at the University of South Carolina. Had an agent. Yeah, I hit the ball like 108. Yeah, I hit the ball 108 miles an hour with a
Yeah.
wood bat in high school. And then I posted it, Perfect Game reposted it. 10 days later, I had a full ride scholarship to an SEC school, and I had an agent.
That fast?
Nuts. That fast. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, did you sign with them, or did you go look anywhere else, or any other attention, or how'd that go?
Oh, as soon as I went to visit South Carolina and I saw that stadium, and I my dad is from South Carolina, so I kind of knew about it. They had
Yeah.
a catcher there named Grayson Griner who threw from the who was he threw the ball back sidearm because he had the yips as a catcher. So like I liked South Carolina because he had the yips and he had figured it out. So I
Yeah.
always like liked the school. So when they offered me, man, I think I committed
Right then.
within 5 minutes. Yeah. I was like, we're doing this. Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, man. So the power of social media and putting stuff out there and stuff like that. Wild to go from
That is.
unrecruited to SEC, signed, sealed, and delivered. Crazy.
Social media has helped me out in my life a ton.
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
man. Let me ask you this. Do you ever get burnt out? You're like, man, I don't want to do any clips there. I don't want to do any editing or any of that stuff. Or how does that work for you?
Yeah.
You ever feel burnt? Need a day?
Yeah, I would say that it's possible, but the thing is that I have so many clips of my journey.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go back in the camera roll and just pull something because at one
Oh, yeah.
time we had 70% of my bats on video, and then I went to the lake and I freaking was jet skiing and my phone dropped in the water, so I lost a ton of them.
Oh, gone forever?
Back. Gone forever,
Oh,
gone
that must have
forever.
been
There's things on there that I still think about to this day that I'll never that I wanna see, like, with my new eye and the new clarity that I
still
have,
thinking
get a
about it.
better. Oh,
Let me
yeah,
ask
and
you.
it's never gonna go away. It's always gonna be a guessing game, so
Did you shed a tear? That's a lot of video to lose. Any tears
I didn't
shed?
shed a tear, but I was pissed. Like, nobody talked to me for the rest of the day. Yeah, I was pissed, and the worst part about it was
Dude.
when I did it was a COVID year, and,
Yeah.
the draft had just ended, so they were doing the free agent signings, and what team was it? The Brewers had called me and said that they might offer me a free agent position, right? So I just wanted to go out and relax on the beach, on the water, and not think about it. And I dropped my phone in the water and I'm freaking out. I've lost all
All
my
right.
hitting videos, and this dude could be reaching out to me with a
Right.
professional contract, and I don't know because my phone's in the lake. Yeah, I was pissed.
Oh, man, that sounds like a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It was.
Hey, I wanna talk, I've got a cool clip here from your dad. This one's called Fighter. I think it's a great place to clip it in here. So this is about some of your journey. You ready?
Mhm.
Ready? Cool. Here we go. Chuck.
Yep,
And
right.
obviously, the injuries continued all throughout his collegiate career. How painful was that for you to watch as a father, as him, keep working his butt off, keep trying. He loves this. He's fully invested, but keeps getting hurt, keeps having to climb the mountain over and over. What was that like watching it for you or
It's
witnessing?
excruciating and rewarding, actually. It's
Interesting.
excruciating because I hate to see my son go through it, but
Yeah.
rewarding because I consider myself a fighter, and it's not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. And he fought back every time. It's the reason I put him in wrestling.
Yeah.
Daddy can't help you, mama can't help you. Get out there and figure it out, fight back. And that's the way you look at everything in life. Situations are there for you to show what you're made of,
Yeah.
and you'll show me. And so it hurt at first, but to watch him come back each and every time
Yeah. Proud of
was
him, I bet.
rewarding. Yeah,
Yeah. Man. Yeah. See, you raised a fighter, didn't you, Chuck?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Hell
so.
yeah. That's
Hmm.
amazing, brother.
I
Goosebumps
got
from
goosebumps.
Chuck there. He has some wise
Yeah,
words.
I got goosebumps too.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. You got anything on that, or just keep rolling?
That is like at the root of it. That's what I'm about, man.
You're a
Just
fighter.
fighting back. Yeah,
Yep,
that's it.
for sure.
Whatever it is, just fighting back, man.
Oh man, I love it. We're kind of going through some high school stuff. Any important memories from your high school career as a player that stand out that you want to talk about or anything like that?
Let's see. Let's see. Um, when I was at Buford, my sophomore year, I got to play. I played like half the season my sophomore year. I ended up playing DH for that team. But arguably one of the greatest high school baseball teams ever. We had Brandon Marsh on there, Joey Bart. We ended up having, I think, 11 D1 guys and
Oh wow.
6 or 7 draft picks that year off that from that team. And we won
Yeah.
state. We lost one game, but that was a really cool memory. One of the best teams ever assembled, in my opinion.
Okay. Um, So the what's we touched on it slightly. I want to get right back into it here. The hitting revolution, hitting mechanics. You said about 13 or 14 when you got hurt is when that kind of started. Josh Donaldson being huge for you. Did you also get into some reading about some Bobby Tewksbury, his hitting coach and stuff like that, and like
That's
all that?
yeah, I went down that rabbit hole. So, oh
Yeah,
man, that yeah. So it's
let's
funny.
go.
I told Tewksbury about this maybe 2 weeks ago. For the first time, I got to talk to him. I told him I was like,
Oh,
"You're part of the reason that
one of the
I went
guys.
down the
Yeah,
rabbit hole first."
same.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's one of the guys I saw Barrow go back first with.
right. He was talking about it.
And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, the slide and everything.
yeah,
But yeah, I got way into Tewksbury. But here's the thing: I started watching that stuff at like 13 and 14, but I couldn't really implement it
yeah,
until like maybe until like I was like 16. So when I was like 13, 14, 15, like when I was healthy enough to play, I was in a no strike because that's the only way I knew how to hit. And I wanted to do all the other things, but I'd never even like really taken much, like really lifted my leg off the ground that much until that point. So I was still
yeah,
trying to figure it out. For those 2 years, I was at a no strike. Even though like I was still like nerding out and all the things,
yeah.
I never knew how to put it all together. So I was like, all right, I know that I can catch a barrel with this. I'll do this for now. Work on this in the background.
So you weren't attempting like the big like Donaldson leg kick and stuff like that, or
Not right away. Yeah, not right
right?
away. I didn't do that until, maybe my senior year of high school.
Interesting. And that's I'm
Yeah.
actually kind of fascinated that you didn't jump on that because I remember a lot of people thinking early on that the leg kick was a power move and that was going to like put power into your swing when I think a lot of us know now that it's more about timing.
Yeah,
Would you agree?
yeah. I would agree, and I definitely thought it was more of a power thing back then, and that's, like, the exact reason why I didn't go to it right away because, like I said,
Like
I was
money?
using a metal bat and I was 220 pounds playing high school baseball. Like, if I just got it enough, it was gonna go even at a no strike, you know?
Yeah.
So I was really conservative, and plus my dad, like, we started getting into it right there, and I would try the stuff, and it wouldn't work at all, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to play some varsity baseball, so I listened to him, and I had some success. I had a lot of success when I was with them,
Yeah.
actually, for those few years at 13, 14. But yeah.
Who who were some of like the early swing guys that you were looking at and trying to emulate? Was there anyone outside of Donaldson?
Donaldson was the first one, and then it went
Yeah.
to, uh Griffey and Babe Ruth, actually. I would sit in the
Fascinating.
basement yeah, and that's when I started watching Griffey, it was the first time, that not the first time, I would say I always saw this thing in Donaldson and, Griffey with their front arms that everybody told, like, us not to do. Like, Griffey had a crazy arm bar. Donaldson,
Yeah,
his
he did.
arms, like, pressed
Right.
against
Yeah.
his as he was turning.
Right.
And I was always told, like, not to do that. And I just couldn't understand, like, why is this big leaguer doing this? And he's really
Right.
successful, and you're telling me, like, to not do that. It just didn't make sense. So I used
That
to, like, try
humeral
to swing
compression.
with, like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I try to, yeah, exactly. I try to like do it so much. And my dad helped me like figure that out a little bit,
Yeah.
with the front arm and like how to do it. But that's when I started figuring out stuff about the front arm and like developing like my own theories about, the swing and whatnot.
Ooh, I like that. Are you familiar with Jamie Savalos? Is that his name? The swing mechanic?
Yeah, I've spoken to him before.
So
Yeah.
his whole thing is all that front arm. Like he is very, that's his whole thing is front
Mhm.
arm, humeral compression. He's got some interesting stuff. I mean, he's a little out there sometimes, but there's some fascinating
I
stuff
think he's
out
done some
there.
great stuff. I think
Yeah.
he's done some great stuff. I think that everybody has a piece of the puzzle. I think that,
Yeah.
there's no one person who has it all figured out. Everybody teaches what they teach and they believe what they believe because it has proven to be true at some point in their career, right?
Yeah.
Like whatever that thing is. So like
Well
everybody
said.
has a piece of the puzzle figured out.
Well said. And I
You just
want to
have to figure
comment
out
on,
which
on
piece needs to be.
I want to comment on Babe Ruth, and it's fat. Look, once he's set, and some of that kind of the old timey first movements are gone, and his heels down, it looks shockingly modern in terms of like the bat
Yes.
path, what he is doing. And it's easy to dismiss, guys, because some guys do have some old timey swings that probably wouldn't play today. But there's a
No.
reason that that guy hit, 700 home runs. It's
Hmm.
once all like the big and like 2 feet movement forward, like
Yeah.
it's beautiful. So I love to
Hmm.
hear that. Okay, let's. I got another Chuck clip here. This one is called Let the Young Lion Roar." Here we go.
Uh,
But anyway, he figured that I didn't know what I was talking about. What I was teaching him was too easy. It can't be that easy. It has to be harder than that. So he you know, I want him to be a lion. And if you're trying to raise a lion, you got to let him roar sometime, right?
Oh,
So I said, all right.
ooh, Chuck, that's a good one, man.
Yeah. So, he started looking up at these guys, started visiting people. We were used to traveling all over the country because we were on an extremely good youth football team, extremely good. We would travel to different states.
Okay.
And he was on the East Cobb Astros, which was a national team that would travel to
I'm
different
very
states.
familiar. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even in wrestling, we would we'd go chasing national titles, which he won a couple. And so we were used to traveling. So yeah, if you want to travel to get baseball knowledge from other people, I'll let you. That's
Okay.
what he did. But
Really?
it was analysis, paralysis by analysis, because there's
Too much information. Chuck's a
Yeah.
cool guy, man. I would love to hear who you went on and saw. And that's cool that your dad supported,
Oh,
even though it was like against what he was kind of doing. He was like, go do your thing, my man.
yeah, yeah. So I went to Baseball Rebellion in North Carolina first. That was my first stop. Then I went to Arizona and I hit with a guy named Trent Otis, Zona baseball instruction. He then led me to Teacher Man. I started working with Teacher Man in like 2017,
Really?
18 maybe. Yeah. Um, and then where'd I go after that? Then I was big on the HLP stuff for 2 years in college there. Went
Yeah.
back and visited Teacher Man again, in Omaha, in 2018.
Yeah.
See, and then outside of that, I hit with a bunch of dudes, like online consulting,
Really?
right? Like I think we did a ton of like online breakdowns when they were first happening. And I don't even remember all the guys' names on Twitter that I talked to, but it was a bunch of them. If I see some names, I'd remember them. I'll probably pull them up later.
Okay.
But yeah, then we
A
saw
journey.
some. Yeah, yeah. Ricky Santiago, he's a more of a decel guy, right? So going like in the opposite
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
Who else? Micah Franklin, um, Craig Wallenbrock.
Really? The,
Um,
the, the Oracle? Dude, he was one of the first ones that was talking about swinging up out in
yeah, yeah,
Cali.
yeah.
You went and saw him at
Yep,
the hitting
and,
yard? Wall
correct.
yard.
Yeah, he's in Arizona now.
Oh,
Or as
really?
of the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where I hit with him.
It's
Uh,
Doug Latta and Craig Wallenbrock are like they're like in it together. They like came up together. All right,
oh,
keep going.
really? I remember they were two big names at the time. Their philosophies are a bit different, similar, but a bit different.
Started
Um,
together. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But you can definitely tell they have the same kind of foundation,
Wow, dude, you've been
for sure.
around, man.
Yeah, yeah. And then man, whoever else I could like get my hands on. Uh, I gotta sit and think of some of the names, but I've hit with a lot of
Wow,
dudes.
that's incredible. If you guys haven't read the book, there's a book out there called Swing Kings, and it goes over the hitting revolution, and it's got deep stories on like Teacher Man and Bobby Tewksbury and Doug Latta and Craig Wallenbrock there. So cool, some cool
Wow.
stories out there. If you're a hitting nerd, get into that. Dude, I'm curious about this because, and I'm not trying to ask you anything controversial, but I didn't realize that you had worked with Teacher Man. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he's come at you a few times online. Am I not accurate there?
I I think he has. I'm not exactly sure. He's blocked me since I started posting content. I'm not exactly sure, to be completely honest with you. But
Okay.
I have no bad blood. I have no bad blood with him. The
Right.
time that I hit with him, he's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in person.
Yeah.
He's very gentle, very respectful in person.
Everyone says that.
Man, incredible. I remember, I don't know if he wants me saying this, but I remember the second time I hit with him, I was a college kid and it's expensive to get out there and hit with him. So what he
Yeah.
did was he signed me up as an instructor for the camp.
Wow.
So he could pay me for the camp and he got my ticket, and I flew up and hit with him, and he paid me $300 to hit with
Wow.
him basically. And I was like, this is the craziest thing ever. This dude is
Wow.
amazing, right?
That
Because
is
I,
cool.
I
Yeah.
worked at camp and I got to hit with him as well. And yeah, dude, he's a really, really good guy. But then ever since I started posting content, I guess we haven't had the same kind of relationship, I guess,
Yeah.
but I wish him nothing for the best. He's helped a lot of people along the way. He's definitely had made his contributions to the hitting world.
Yeah.
So I respect him for it.
Yeah, that was well said. I think his story is really fascinating because I've read similar, and people have echoed what you just said. That in person, kind, warm, a good guy. But everyone out there knows that he can be kind of tough online, and his presence online can be a little harsh and whatnot.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, moving on from there. I'm not trying to get anything controversial out of here.
Oh, well,
We
I will something about that actually,
please, buddy. What's
about
up?
his presence online. I don't fault him for it at all because I think what he's doing is he's diving deep into his beliefs and he has full conviction on a certain
Yeah,
pattern that worked for him has worked for others. And he truly believes like that is the way. And with that full
yeah,
conviction, I
he does.
think he feels like he needs to be that he needs to have that kind of presence in order to push his
Yeah.
message. That's what I believe. I think it's coming from a really good place.
Yeah,
I really do.
I agree. I do wish he was a little kinder online, but that's his own path. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
the further I've gotten into HLP, I have to be careful who I even talk to HLP about because some people will automatically dismiss you if you even talk about it. But
Religion.
yeah,
Yeah, heading mechanics
there
are
are
religion, man.
for sure. I think there are some amazing concepts within it. Not everyone can hit like that, but some people clearly can. So I don't think it should be
Mhm.
thrown out by any means. It's a way to hit and a way to teach. And also some of the concepts in it, like no one's ever heard anyone talk about snap and tilt and all this stuff. So weird concepts for a lot of the baseball community to,
Mhm.
take in. So anyway, moving on here, you signed with South Carolina. Did any other schools come on later and you thought maybe I should have listened to some other schools or
So I ended up getting some offers right after that, but
yeah,
nobody that I was like super, super interested in.
okay.
Well, I mean, there were some cool schools to go to. What I noticed is as soon as I got the first offer, the
Yeah,
rest of them came in.
sure.
It's
Right.
like it's kind of like my dad's like it's kind of like dating. It's like one hot girl thinks you're attractive, that gives you the okay for the other hot girls. Like, okay, he's attractive, people like him. They're gonna join the parade.
Dude, yeah. Cool, man. All right. I'm excited to get into your pro stuff here. And let me just say, we're close to an hour in. I knew you and I were going to vibe, man. We've been through some similar experiences, and I could just tell that you and I were going to have a nice back and forth. So I'm really enjoying this, my brother. Um,
Yeah.
would love to hear about getting the pro attention in high school. Obviously, getting drafted. Did it get more and more as it led up? And what were you hearing leading up to the draft?
Yeah, so I came really out of nowhere. Once I hit that ball 108 miles an hour, it just kind of put me on the map. And I got
Yeah,
I got invited to a bunch of pre-draft workouts that I didn't even know were a thing
yeah,
that year. And I went and I lit them up. It was batting practice. Nobody's trying to strike me out, so I can show my
right.
pop.
Yeah,
Um, so I was able to light them up, and I heard at that point I was going to be a top 3 rounder. Just
oh,
because I
wow.
had the tools, right? I was a mid 90s from the outfield.
Yeah,
My 60 was like a 6'7" ish. I was 220 pounds. I was hitting the ball 108 miles an hour with a wood bat, in high
yeah.
school.
Big
And
plays.
whatnot. I had all these intangibles, right?
Yeah,
So I was very highly touted for a little bit. We start off the season. I start off pretty well. There's more scouts than there are like fans at the games. It's crazy. I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, I'm actually about to go like get drafted this year. That's what I thought, right? I get
yeah,
like sign a big contract.
right.
And second game came around. I really just got walked. A lot of guys see me, and then I clipped the ball, but it happened to go hit off the top of the fence. And I was like, okay, sick, I'll take that, right? Then I played at Etowah High School. It might have been the third game of the season, my senior year, against somebody named Drew Waters. He's a current big leaguer. I
Yeah,
think he's with the Royals. And he was the number 1 outfielder in Georgia at the time. So it was a really, really big matchup. And I pulled up, my agent called me and he's like, this is the day. If you do anything, this is the day you need to do it.
really.
Everybody and their mother was there, man. When I got there, I
Yeah,
saw like cross checkers, GMs, like all these people, they were filming me stretch. They were filming me talk to my teammates in the dugout, like all these things. I'm like, this is nuts. This is
Yeah.
nuts. So I ended up absolutely shitting the bed. They got the guy on the mound who wasn't even a pitcher, sat me down the first time, sat me down the second time, pop up my third at bat. After that, I think my next game, I had one scout show up. And then from then on, it'd be like a scout here, scout there. It wasn't really much after I shit the bed that one day.
Really?
And funny story. So I had my shortstop that year, his name was Nasim Yunus, who plays for the Washington Nationals right now. But he first got noticed as a freshman when all the scouts came to watch Drew and I play, and now he's a big leaguer. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so after that, not many scouts came. Ended up having a decent year. I think I hit like 407 with like 7 home runs. Nothing really
Exactly
like
that.
crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And then the next year, not the next year. After that, I ended up going to some pre-draft workouts. Pre-draft, like before the actual draft.
Sure.
I went to one like before the spring season the last time. A little bit before that, I went to the Phillies, Reds, and there was one more. I forget. Phillies, the worst showing of a baseball player I've ever. Completely embarrassing, dude. It was awful. It was awful. I hit one ball out of the turtle because we've been flying around to all these pre-draft workouts and I wasn't used to that. I hit one ball out of the turtle. My 60 was awful. It got so bad that one of the scouts was like, "Who invited this kid?" That's what they said. I was like, "Shit, this is awful, man." I don't know what I'm doing here. But then I had the Reds pre-draft workout and I freaking tore it up, man. I did the complete opposite. Arm looked good. I hit BP really well. And then they sprung on live at bats on us. And I wouldn't expect that. I ended up getting maybe 6 or 7 live at bats in. And dude, I was crushing balls. I hit a ball off the wall, backside, hit a line drive off center field. I was like 6 or 7 feet off the ground. I sounded like a gunshot off the bat, hit a ball in the stands to left field, all in live at bats. All right, I'm getting drafted. I'm getting signed. Let's go get paid. And then draft day comes around. I get a call. No, we get a text saying like it's going to be a little bit later. We're looking like rounds 4 through 7. That's what they said. So rounds 4 through 7. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Are you at the house with the family? What's the scene?
I'm at the house with the family. Yeah, I'm at the house with the family. Pacing all over the place. So I'm hoping that I end up going through 4 through 7. Rounds 4 through 7 pass. Nothing, dude. Nothing.
Where's your head and heart at once that period passes?
Basically, it's to the point now. My number was $1 million before the draft started. By the time we got to day 2, I was like, "Give me a cheeseburger and I will go and play." Yeah,
all the way down.
Yeah, it just kept going down. My number just kept going down, and then it got to be. I ended up getting drafted, and we thought that they had a plan to give me, from what I understand, to give me $300 and school paid for. But that year they had a guy named Hunter Green sign. And Hunter waited till the last minute on the deadline to sign.
He did. I remember that.
He did that. He took all the rest of the money because he ended up getting the highest bonus that year. I think his slot was like 6.7. He ended up signing for 7.1, and a little bit of that money was supposed to trickle down towards to me, so I can get my extra $175K or whatever it might have been. Yeah. So
then you slipped because of your ask. Do you think that's why you slipped so far into the draft?
I don't think that's why I slipped. I think I slipped because I had a very mediocre season. I had a lot of swing and miss. I did better against I had the big leg kick and I did better against the slower pitching. I had some really good tools, but the skill level wasn't there. I think that's why I didn't get drafted.
So then
picked up where I thought I should have.
At that point, were you elated getting picked in the 40th round? Was this still amazing, a moment, or was it like disappointment?
I got drafted. They played a video of a guy named Tony Jenkins. It wasn't even me, another black man in Florida, and that's the video that they played.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, that sucks. yeah. So it's like you see my name getting drafted, but then Tony Jenkins, who is not me, like it was like pre-draft video or whatever.
Yeah.
So that happened. I think I want to say like as soon as I got my name called, my mom and dad were really happy.
Yeah.
And I don't even really remember being that happy. I went to the basement right away and started doing push-ups and sit-ups and trying to prove them wrong. That was my first thing that I did. Yeah.
Were you thinking then, obviously, as conversations went on and let you know, hey, we're holding money for 100 green. Were you thinking this was going to happen? I'm still going to go. Or were you thinking I'm headed to college?
Oh yeah. Completely wishful thinking, completely wishful thinking. Like
Yeah.
we weren't even sure if like they had just mentioned that. They didn't even say that they were going to do that. They had just mentioned that. Right.
Yeah.
And I clinged onto that as like, I just clinged onto that hoping it would happen. So a lot of wishful thinking,
Hmm.
through it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you end up at South Carolina here, SEC school, doing it here. I'd love to hear what your experience was there, showing up in the fall. That can be jarring for a freshman, but
Yeah.
usually for freshmen that weigh like 150 pounds and have never seen a weight room. So that's gonna be a
Yeah.
different change for you there. I'd love to hear about your first impression stepping
Yeah.
on the campus.
I thought it was so interesting because I stepped on campus and I was already the strongest guy on the team.
Yeah.
So, and I loved it because those dudes were freaks, man.
Right.
They were all strong. Like, yeah. So it made me feel a bit better that I didn't look like a freshman coming in.
Sure.
But like I came in, and then I think the first day we just got a new head coach that year. His name was Mark Kingston. And first day we did like exit velo testing. Right.
Probably good for you.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Well, this is before that. Like, I really like. I knew I had like some serious juice, but like when I got into college is when it started to get ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we started doing exit vehicle testing, and I'm like 3 and 4 and 5 miles an hour ahead of the person in second place on our team, and I'm like, this is sick. I'm feeling really, really good about myself, and I
Yeah.
go to first day of practice. No, the next day of practice, we're hitting off the machine. First swing off the machine, homer. Second swing off the machine, fall off the wall. Right, I'm feeling myself. After that, I did not touch a ball or put a ball in play for like the next like 3 rounds. I probably caught one barrel out of the next like 15 pitches. I don't know what happened.
Really.
Um, but yeah. And then we ended up having some scrimmages. I played really well in the fall scrimmages. I hit 415.
Oh,
Second
wow.
scrimmage, I hit two backside homers. My second scrimmage off of our starters. So I
Okay.
was doing really, really well. And then we had pro day come up, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was joking. I'm like, guys, I'm gonna throw the ball so hard from the outfield, I'm gonna tear my UCL. Like, I was completely joking, but I actually went out there and
Some
did it.
things you
Like,
shouldn't say out loud. Some things you shouldn't say out loud, my friend.
didn't say that out loud. So I go out there. Well, before that, I ended up having a round because I wasn't draft eligible. I only got 10 pitches, while the draft eligible guys got like 16 or 17.
Sure.
But I hit 9 out of 10 balls out that round with a wood bat. Yeah. And then I think I threw like mid 90s from the outfield, but I tore my ACL that day. I ended up having Tommy John, and I redshirted my first year in school.
Yeah.
So
So
that's how that went.
interesting. So then you felt like you were right there with the competition. You weren't like overwhelmed. These are out of my league guys in the fall. You're doing okay.
Yeah, because
That's
yeah,
cool.
and really, like, now, when I can look back at it now, when I got to school, I was doing all the teacher man stuff and all of that. And when I
Yeah.
got to school, I was struggling, and this is always when the best version of myself comes out, is when I get really, really desperate as a hitter and I just want to hit. I throw mechanics out the window and I compete, and it's simple, right? And when I got there, and after that first day, I was
Right.
embarrassed. I had 2 bombs and swung and missed the rest of the time. I was like, all right, I just
Yeah.
want to like two-strike approach. I'm just trying to touch the ball, like, and that was my approach. And I'm hitting home runs and stuff like that, right?
Right.
In the fall, guess what happened? I got injured. Guess what injury means? Ian has a bunch of time to sit down and look at video. As soon as I tore my UCL, dude, I probably changed my swing mentally 100 times and went through like, yeah, I mean, insane.
I've never heard anyone say they changed their swing mentally.
Oh yeah. Like I had a new philosophy, or I had a new this, because I was hurt and I couldn't actually like apply anything.
Oh
So it
my
was just
God,
like
dude. Yeah.
theory after theory after theory, just like
Yep.
going untested.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fascinating. Dude,
Mhm.
I get that
Mhm.
too. And during my time in college, like none of these, I played at Murray State in '07 and '08. and none of the swing stuff was out yet. So I was just going on MLB.com and looking at guys' highlights and trying my best to figure it out. Like I was seeing separation and shoulders opening up and barrels doing things and even scissor kicking, but I was like, I don't know how to. Trying to
Yeah.
apply those concepts was super confusing, and I got a lot of it wrong, which I'm sure that you would understand. So, TJ, did you know right away that UCL was done, blew up?
I had a,
How did it go?
I felt like it. So my elbow had been hurting for 2 years before that, honestly, like off and on. And I was taking like diclofenac, which was a anti-inflammatory just to throw or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I thought that I had like some tendonitis. But I think I threw the ball as hard as I could from the infield, from the outfield. And the next
Yeah.
throw, I would just try to hit my cutoff man net, and I couldn't. And I
Really?
knew then, I'm like, okay, that's not normal. Maybe this is just like a flare up. Then our
Yeah.
trainer did the test. He's like, yeah, that's definitely torn. Ended up having surgery like 2 weeks later.
Wow.
But I didn't. I just thought it was a bad case of tendonitis.
There's some pictures of you out there throwing, and your arm is so laid back. It's crazy, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
They're talking about
Yeah.
that hyper mobility there. So who
Mhm.
does the surgery? And how'd that go?
Dr. Andrew Mazaway
Okay.
at the University of South Carolina.
Okay. And you feel like it overall went pretty well. Like from what I think
Yeah,
I know, like your arm strength came back.
yeah, absolutely. He did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
How was that sitting though? I mean, I can remember it's
Oh
weird being a
man.
red
Okay.
shirt.
So we're about to get into some juicy stuff here, man.
Let's
All
go,
right.
baby.
This
Let's
is
go.
Ian started getting into trouble. All right.
Okay.
So I had Tommy John in October,
Yeah.
and I couldn't swing a bat for 4 months. And
Okay.
then we started throwing maybe at month 6. I don't remember the exact timeline. Anyway, I started hitting 2 months after Tommy John without my coaches knowing. And not only was I hitting and I was injured, not released, I was also skipping class to do it because I was in the tunnel, and I was spending the night in the cage, ruthlessly videoing myself, looking at the video, trying to critique it for 12 hours a night.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go to class. Kids, good class, it's good. Like school's good,
Dude.
but I didn't go to school at all, dude. I was hit, video, hit. And then my coach said, hey, like who's coming in here? No, one day my coach comes to the facility at like 4 a.m. because we had a coach named Skylar Mead. He would always see me. There's like, dude, what are you doing here right now? I'm like, I'm hitting, coach. If I don't hit this baseball, you guys will cut me. Like that's
Wow.
so I gotta figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And then they told me, hey, like you can't do that, right? So I think they even might have like limited my key card. So I went and took a manager's key card, scanned
Dude.
it, and hit it in the right way. Yeah, totally not, but like, yeah.
Dude.
And I ended up getting caught because the day after I did it, well, I did it for a while, but probably like 2 or 3 weeks before they caught me again. The coach went on, like we had practice and we were doing like some exit velo stuff, and he went to the night before at all the exit velos, and the exit velos were so high that it could have only been me hitting. So that's how I got in trouble. He's like, Ian, nobody else are hitting these numbers. Like that's you.
Oh my
And then,
God.
so what happened, the repercussions from that, and nobody
Yeah.
knows this side of the story, I ended up getting my scholarship taken away.
Really?
Yeah, they took 50% of my scholarship. Yeah, my right after that. And I
Really?
was suspended for a week. Yeah, I might be the first guy in college sports who got suspended for working too hard. By the way, I didn't go to class, but I had a 3.5 GPA at the time.
Okay, there we go. Taking care of business still. Man.
Yeah, enough so that I could just hit all day and I would complain, but I guess attendance is really mandatory. So I didn't like that, but yeah.
Incredible story. I wrote down some notes as you were talking there because, dude, you and I have seen some similar experiences, dude. First of all, what was his name? Jacob talked about you sleeping in the locker room and him going in there in the morning and being like, yo, Ian's over there sleeping on the couch. Like you were so ate up with it and so determined to figure it out. Totally get that. I too, like I went through the surgery thing too. I cut off multiple casts before they were supposed to be cut off and started to hit beforehand. I too got my key taken away at Murray State from the batting cage because they said I was doing too much too soon. So man, wild to hear that there's someone else out there like me that's a little bit insane about
Yeah.
hitting. So I love it, brother. That's incredible. So then were you kind of falling out of favor with the coaching staff at this point, or how was that playing
So,
out?
so it was a very interesting relationship because the head coach and I had a really good relationship, but he
Okay.
still had to uphold structure. And if somebody did something that we said not to, they need to be disciplined. So nobody else would go against,
Yeah.
so for the culture. But we had a really good relationship. Like I was one of the only players that we would talk uh, outside of practice about hitting. We message each other's swings and whatnot,
Yeah.
and like always talk about it. And he put me on like the next year, he put me on like the team leadership thing. So I was like a representative for the team and I
Yeah.
represented us like doing stuff. So he trusted me a lot and he actually really liked me as a player and thought that I was a smart guy, but he also understood that he said, "You're OFP." I was like, "What is that?" He said, "You're on your own fucking program." That's and that's always been the thing with me. Yeah.
That's
So
good.
that was his quarrel with me, which is rightly so. So I didn't conform like everyone else, and I should have because I was the worst hitter on the team.
Yeah.
Yet I thought that I knew more than everybody, and that was the weirdest thing too because I was the worst hitter on the team statistically, had the highest end zone swing and miss.
Yeah.
But when guys struggled and they wanted to fix their swings,
Coming to you.
they came to me.
Yeah.
They didn't I haven't said this, but they didn't go to our coaching staff. They came to
Right.
me.
Yeah.
And
That's
but the thing
fascinating.
was I couldn't even do it myself, but I was
Right.
really good at talking about it and like
Yeah.
helping guys work through it in their head and whatnot.
That's something
And
that go
yeah.
ahead, sorry, keep going. That's
No,
fascinating
no,
to me.
yeah.
I wanted
Mhm.
to ask you because obviously you've been on these you're like a pro level hitting guy knowledge, but you're on a college roster as a player. How did that relationship work with like a hitting coach on a team in terms of you guys working together? And obviously these
Yeah.
were they feeling upset that guys were coming to you as opposed to the hitting coach for stuff, or did they even
Yeah. I
know?
think one time in the fall, they kind of like I had fractured a vertebrae.
Hmm.
My sophomore year, or I guess my actual redshirt freshman year, my second year in school, I fractured a vertebrae and I was out all fall. But
Yeah.
they made me like a hitting coach
Yeah.
basically that year. So what they did was they knew that guys were going to come up and talk to me about hitting. So instead of fighting me with it, they tried to
Work with you.
convince me of their philosophy so I could spread it to the rest of the team. And like, I remember Coach Kingston would always come up and say, "Hey, I don't want us saying two different things to these guys. This is what I want you to reinforce for this guy, basically." Because they
That's
knew they were going to come
hilarious.
up and ask me. Yeah.
And that's just hilarious that these guys they're having these conversations with the 18 or 19-year-old college freshmen as if you're like on the coaching staff in a way, but you're a
Yeah,
player.
and I bet they
Unique.
didn't like it. They probably thought I
Right.
was a smartass, honestly. But the real deal is that I just had a complete obsession for hitting, and I just wanted to be around it. And I was very, very passionate when I spoke about that.
Mhm.
And I think that some of the guys just like my passion about it, and wanted to talk hitting with me. So
I
yeah,
love that. And something that jumped out to me too is Coach Burke talked about how you used your time when you were hurt, that you were so valuable to that roster, that you were so willing to work with people and talk hitting, and that he loved having you there. It was no kind of there was no clash or anything like that.
yeah. It was honestly so much fun because yeah, I end up getting injured again, but I never wanted to take credit for it, but I'll just be honest. I felt like I was able to impact the game so much
Yeah.
because I was able to talk to hitters and help them make adjustments even during the AB sometimes. Because I would like know what to say to the like
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many times I gave a guy a cue and not saying that like that's the thing that got him a hit. But like he felt better or he had a bit more confidence. Like I
Yeah.
remember the number one thing that I'd say to my guys, or no, I say my guys, my teammates would be start uncomfortably early. If they
Yeah.
heard me say that,
Yeah,
they
dude.
were like, "Oh, I'm not starting early enough. It needs to be like uncomfortably early." And that was like one of the biggest things that helped me. And then like after a dude would go up and hit, um, I would never like tell guys what to do ever. Ever,
Yeah.
ever, ever. Only the uncomfortably early thing. If they gave me permission beforehand to say something to them when they're in the box, that's only thing. But like after the at bat, um, if they want to come and talk to me, I'll just like ask them questions and not say anything until like the next inning and then come to them with something. But I would never like, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're this wrong. I have them talk to me first,
Yeah.
because I think that's the most important part. Cause like at the end of the day, like you can look at Barry Bonds' swing and
Hmm.
determine it's a good swing. I can look at Barry Bonds' swing and determine it's a good swing. Everybody knows what a good swing looks like, but how
Yeah.
to do it is the real difference. And what really comes down to is just communication. Like the better
Yeah.
I can communicate with you, the more likely I am to give you the right words or cues to make the right moves show up. It's not really, it's like what I
Hmm.
started to learn was that words, the connotation of words, the perception of words are slightly different for everybody. Everybody
Yeah.
defines it slightly differently.
Well said.
So one word can make such a big difference for one guy. So
Hmm.
when I started to figure out like the word game, with some of these guys, you just have to say something from like a slightly different perspective and then a whole new feel will come out of it. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
so interesting, like how your brain perceives a word and puts it into action differently than the next guy,
Oh
you know?
man. Beautiful levels to this, dude. Something that jumped out at me. I know we're both hitting nerds here, so I know you've seen it. You talked about starting uncomfortably early, and something
Mhm.
that jumped out of my head was, I know you've seen it. Do you remember the video that Jose Bautista put out talking about his swing change early in his career? Dude, I bet I've watched that 1,000 times. It's so if you guys haven't seen it, Jose Bautista obviously had this change in his career where he was late, 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 pushy swing, starting late, early in his career. Went to the Blue Jays, got with a hitting guy there, and started ridiculously early, like so early that it felt uncomfortable. Like you just said, totally changed his career and just like synced up everything. And I just always really loved that video, so I just wanted to
Mhm.
say a little something there. But let's move on to some let's get into some Noah Campbell stuff here. So
Yeah.
got some
Oh,
awesome clip
really?
from your guy here. Let's put it on. Just these are all awesome guys. Let's go Noah meeting Ian. First clip. You ready?
Oh, wow.
Rock it.
Okay, yeah, the first time I met Ian was on I think it was our recruiting trip. So they get all the official visit guys to come in,
Yeah.
and I just had never met him, and he just came off as like the biggest, most unbelievable. Like I thought he should have been playing football. Like
Right.
that was just the thing for me. I looked at this dude and I was like, how am I? Like, I'm in high school. I'm like, how am I supposed to compete with guys like this? This guy looks like he can hit a ball 650 feet.
And he can.
And yeah, and he can. And he's like crushing protein shakes on the recruiting trip. And I'm like, this guy's different. But I mean, I got the
That's
first
great.
impression though, and from day one, I clicked with Ian.
Yeah.
Ian's been a great guy that I enjoy spending time with since day one. Like,
You got anything on that,
Yeah.
my brother?
So something that he did not mention right there was we met on the recruiting trip and we clicked because we were the only two guys who had never had alcohol, who had drank alcohol. So we were
Really
the only two guys on a recruiting trip. That's why we like ended up getting to like clicking the first day because we were the only guys like who hadn't had alcohol to that
interesting.
point. Yeah, yeah. So he didn't tell that put that part in there probably because it's like not so PG, but yeah.
All right. Moving along here. This next one is called Get Along. Go.
yeah, besides that, he loves to hit. I think what is special about Ian is that he can get along with anybody.
Mhm.
The amount of friends that Ian made across campus in like diverse groups, like it didn't matter if it was the baseball team or another sports team, because
Yeah.
that's pretty obvious. You see athletes at schools
Sure.
connect a lot. But
Absolutely.
Ian could be friends with, frat guys and just random people across campus. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Ian's just it's just a good dude that everybody wants to be around. And I mean, I lived with him for a reason.
Cool. You got
No,
anything
that's
there?
awesome to hear.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
awesome to hear.
Yeah. What
I was
awesome
super
compliment.
friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I
I
was
can
super
tell.
friendly. I had a lot of friends around campus.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Next one is The Power. Here we go.
Yeah, so I will tell people to this day, and I've played professional baseball. I've watched a lot of guys hit.
Nobody close.
I'm no, I mean, he has the most power I've ever seen. I've seen guys that are 6'6", that are bigger, can hit the ball pretty hard.
Yeah.
Nobody comes close to Ian.
Yeah.
I think the two stories that I have for Ian when it comes to power
Yeah.
are one, we were
Go.
had pro day. We had pro day, and we got 10 swing because we were not draft eligible that year, and we had to use a wood bat. Ian got hit 9 out of the 10 for homers, and the only one he didn't hit out hit the wall. So it's truly unbelievable. But I guess the story that most people like want to hear.
Here we go.
And unfortunately, I had to see it or hear about it secondhand. I'm sure we can get another teammate on here to talk about the firsthand experience. Maybe get like a Wes Clark or something. But so I was hitting in the cage, and I come out, and everybody's like this, like hand on their head or like on their knees. They're like, I was like, dude, what just happened out here? Did somebody get hit with a ball? Like, so I thought it was something bad. And I go down there, and they're like, Ian just hit a ball over the scoreboard. And I'm like, over the scoreboard at South Carolina? Like the scoreboard, I'm not sure if you've ever seen South Carolina's field, but the scoreboard is high and back there. Like it is not like just on the field. And we were like, he had to hit that ball like over 500 feet, like easy, like not even close. Like the wind was blowing out, but like nobody else can hit the ball over the scoreboard, no matter if the wind was blowing out. For me, I would need like a Category 5 hurricane to even come close to it. Like this dude, and everybody will swear to it to this day. Like Wes Clark will say it. I think Brady Allen, a couple other guys that were out there. I wish I got to see it in person, but it was almost more surreal to go out there and see the after effects of what had just happened.
That's an incredible story.
So that's an incredible story. Everyone told the exact same story. It is lore. I bet they're still telling that dang story down there, dude. Do you remember this? Talk to me about what you remember.
Oh man. I remember that day. It was incredible. I was launching balls that day. The wind was blowing a little bit. It definitely was. But I had this feel right that day, and it was kind of like doing like the one-legged teacher man thing, but instead of just like tilting like this, I like see if I can stand up and do it. Oh, these things would follow me. But instead of launching like that, I thought to myself, let's just like launch into the ground. So I tried like literally like get lower into the ground as I was swinging. And fast forward now, I understand what that means for me. It took me 10 years to figure it out, but I hit that ball and it came off my bat, and I was like, oh my goodness. It was like possessed on a mission. And the ball goes over the scoreboard. In order to hit the scoreboard, the bottom of the scoreboard, you have to hit the ball 500 feet. I hit it over the top of the scoreboard. Like it's hit it 500 feet in the air. Huh?
We have any guess how far this ball went?
So I can get my our analytics guy. I just deleted my. I'll get you the numbers, but from what I remember, it was anywhere from, he had to do a guesstimation because our TrackMan was off, but based off the ball where it was landed and some other conditions, it was anywhere from 117 to 120, and it went about 560, 570 feet.
I was about to say that there has to be a calculation that to get over that, there has to be a certain amount of data, right?
I would like him to redo it because I really think that ball went over 600 feet because of how much wind was blowing. But I remember after that happened, my head coach, they all saw it happen, but he would not believe that I actually just did that. Like he refused to do it. Our manager went and grabbed the baseball, and he's like, he came up to me like maybe 2 rounds later, handed me the ball. I was like, behold, this is the furthest baseball hit in baseball history. And he handed it to me. My head coach comes right next to me, grabs that. And he said, that didn't go over the scoreboard. It went under it. And he threw it back out to the field. Yeah. Yeah. He just refused to believe that the ball went over the scoreboard. But here's the thing. The ball went over the scoreboard.
Yeah.
TJ Hopkins, who ended up playing a little bit in the big leagues with the Reds, Jacob Olsen, who you interviewed. Jacob Olsen had his hands on his head. TJ Hopkins was on his knees with his hands in his head like this in complete disbelief. Like all of practice stopped. Everything stopped. It was nuts. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll never hit a baseball like that again.
I was going to ask, do you feel like you've hit one since like that? Or is that with like a once in a lifetime unicorn?
I've gotten one close, but not like that again.
All
Not
right.
like
Hey,
that again.
we're here. Let's hear everyone's take on it. Let's go, Jacob, right now. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got a story about it. Let's go, baby.
So Jake, his power was pretty incredible. So we have a scoreboard in South Carolina that, I mean, I don't even know how many feet it is in the air, but you can see it from a long ways away. So there's a big clock on top of it. And, I mean, to hit it over that clock, I have no idea how many feet you actually have to hit it to get it over that.
Yeah.
But one day in BP, he did have some help with the wind. It was 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, but he hit a ball, and I was standing right under it, shagging in the outfield. It went over that clock and landed in a tailgate lot way back behind the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that was one of the practice shut down for probably 5 minutes, jumping around, trying to figure out what just happened. But that story right there pretty much sums up his power. I mean, if he gets it, there's almost nothing like it.
And so he was the one like with his hands on his head, like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
he had his hands on his head, and then our center fielder was on his knees with his hands in his head.
Okay, it's Josiah's time to talk about it. Here we go.
Oh, Josiah, yeah.
So
yeah.
the thing that first comes to mind was my very first day at Founders Park. This is the day I finally got card access to the field. Like, I'm going to get my locker set up, go hit a little bit. And Ian comes walking in. And, of course, at this point, probably been a year since I last saw him. Looks like he's already put on 20 pounds. And the first probably 5 swings were the loudest contact I've ever heard. And our indoor facility, of course, the ball is going to echo a little bit. But it was just different with him. And I remember looking over at our hit tracks, and his first 5 swings was like 105, 108, 111, and effortless. I remember sitting there first day at the facility thinking, all right, welcome to the SEC. This is going to be fun. So, yeah, it was quite impressive to watch.
Okay, I thought he talked about the
one of the
scoreboard there as
funniest
well.
things about that. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. I had nothing.
One of the funniest things, him and Noah had like a first impression of college with me, right? Saying like, oh, he's that size, like welcome to college. Oh, he's hitting the ball that hard, like welcome to college. And the thing is that those guys were so much better baseball players than I was that it's laughable, man. They had incredible careers, like way better careers than I did.
Right.
And I just think it's really funny to hear them say that. And I'm looking at them like Josiah just got drafted in the 11th round and turned down and came to school. Noah was Team USA, all world, probably turned down like $800K to come to school. I'm looking at these guys like welcome to the SEC, and they're looking at me like, oh, this is college. Like that's crazy to hear. That's crazy to hear.
There's a lot of respect back and forth there. You can tell. That's cool to hear, man. Let's move on to some more Noah. I've got a few more Noah clips here. Are you doing okay on time here?
Yeah.
Cool, man. This is fun. I'm so enjoying this.
Yeah.
I knew this was gonna be good, dude. All right, the arm. Here we go.
Well, I will avoid power, but I guess his arm still counts as like some sort of power tool. I just remember Ian, we went to the field one day and he just picked up a ball, hadn't thrown, threw it over the into the bullpen just from the line with no warm up. And it was like nothing for him. So he truly had all the like power related tools, like throwing and power hitting.
Sure.
And in college, I mean, he says it a lot on his page, but he was always trying to figure out how to swing.
Yeah.
No matter how, every swing for him resulted in, immense power, but he was trying to figure out how to implement that into the game. So that he went all to all the hitting gurus and everything, and he was in the cage, like they said, or like he said so many times. But he really did have an incredible arm as well. People don't talk about his arm as much.
Yeah, it is easy if everyone wants to get lost in the sauce talking about these 500-foot tanks and stuff. But hey, man, had a bazooka too.
Yeah. I got triple digits from the outfield once upon a time.
That's pretty dang impressive, my friend. We got 2 more from him. This next one is his hitting path. Here we go.
Yeah, I think I think Ian figured it out now, but I think everybody's journey for hitting is different. And I think for Ian, it took him going to everybody else to figure out what worked for him.
Yeah.
Some people can figure it out on their own. Maybe they just like, they're like, oh, I don't think that's going to work. And they just hop into something and it works for them.
Yeah.
I think for Ian, his journey just took him on a different route to go see all those hitting gurus. So he could be like, oh, wait, like I do know how to hit. I don't need these other guys to tell me how to hit.
Yeah.
And maybe he takes elements from each person. But it's definitely an interesting hitting journey because he had different things even in just the 2 years that I was with him. But he has special talent, though. So, it definitely showed no matter what.
Okay. And then the last one here is called least surprising. Here we go.
It's crazy to say this because I think he has like the largest hitting account in the world, but it is like the least surprising thing ever that
Yeah.
this is something that has had success for Ian, because I mean, there are a ton of hitting coaches out there, and no disrespect to any of them, but Ian likes hitting more than all of them combined. It is unbelievable the passion that he has for hitting and the dedication that he has to just trying to improve himself. And like, I don't know if he'll say this, but I feel like he made the account for himself because it's like helpful for him just to like, dialogue this stuff. This is just how I feel about it.
Sure. Yeah.
But like he kind of made the account for himself because he was just trying to document, all the swing stuff, and he could, he could talk through it. And through coaching in his program, I've learned that like I feel like I'm a better hitter in my head now through teaching others. So I feel like he probably got the same benefit out of making his account. And obviously, it's blown up, and now he has all this stuff and the collaborations and whatever. But I really do think if I had to bet deep down, he did it for himself, because it was kind of like, oh wait, like I can hit and still like put it online, and then people can like follow my journey, but I know what I'm doing and I can track this.
Fascinating. Let's go. What you got?
And that's my roommate. He knows me like no other. He's spot on. This Ian Jenkins underscore hitting is for 17-year-old Ian. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
It is. I did all this hitting stuff, right? And I learned from everybody. And I have the thing that says I failed, so you don't have to. Another thing another concept I took from my dad and made it sound better. But but yeah, like I got so lost in the swing revolution. I just didn't want the same thing to happen to other guys. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make this account trying to help out 17-year-old Ian navigate the swing revolution. So I'm basically saying like, yeah, I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
But I know that shit don't work. That shit don't work. Like, right? I know that I failed, so you don't have to. You know what I mean? So like, I'm basically just like teaching from my failures. It's pretty much it, and trying to help 17-year-old Ian.
I don't think there's anyone out there like you, dude. What if there was, when you were 17, 16, someone similar to you out there? There was an account out there. Do you think your career would have gone differently? And that's a weird question.
I don't know. I think that I probably would have taken that information and overloaded with it and wasted a lot of time with it. The same. I think that, I don't think that anything would have changed. I think that this is what I was supposed to be doing all along. I think I have this kind of brain, and God put me, in baseball, and I fell in love with hitting, to do this very thing. Because like I said, it's the vehicle that I can teach more powerful and more important lessons with through my passion, for the swing and baseball or whatnot. But yeah, that's what I think.
Dude, I'm so glad we're here. This is awesome. I'm so enjoying this, man. TJ surgery. We're rehabbing it. They're kicking you out of the cages from you're hitting too much. You do come back for a sophomore year. You're a redshirt sophomore. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And interesting stats here: 64 at bats, 5 home runs, 26 games, hit 188. But I know there's probably some injuries in there. How was that getting into SEC games, hitting some pumps, getting a little bit? I'd love to hear your thoughts on how this year went.
Yeah. Going back a little bit, I didn't play that fall because I had fractured vertebrae in my spine, fractured my L5, so I was out the entire fall.
How'd that happen?
So I didn't get swinging in the cage.
Really? Wow.
Like first maybe 2 weeks, hitting off the big hack too often, I guess, and too explosive, and fractured my L5. Was out the entire fall. Then I come back for a spring scrimmage. When we come back after the break, the first spring scrimmage, I tear my LCL and MCL in my left knee.
Man.
And I'm like, all right, well, there goes the season. But I ended up getting PRP injections, and I come back 5 or 6 weeks later. So I ended up having my first start against Valparaiso in March. And that was my first college start. So I had 2 torn ligaments in my left knee. So I was still injured, but PRP shots got me to the point where I was good enough to play. Because at that point, I'd missed my first fall. I'd missed my first spring. And then I come back, I missed the fall again with a back injury. And then I missed the spring practices again because I tore ligaments in my knee, and I missed the first 2 games. I'm like, we just got to hit at this point. My coach, after I did that, my coach looked at me. He's like, you will never play outfield at the University of South Carolina. That's what he said. It's like, you are going to have a bat in your hand and you're a hitter. Because every time I went to the outfield, something tore. She's like, you're going to be at the plate, man.
Yeah.
So my dad mentioned this a little bit. First game with Valpo, I was doing the snap stuff. Awful.
Yeah.
First at bat, I was swinging at airplanes. As a pitcher, if the mound was elevated 45 feet, I'd have been, I'd have won the Golden Spikes, but not the case. And then my last at bat, guess what happens? Is my first start. I get desperate. So what do? I choke up, and luckily, I clip a ball, but because I'm strong, I hit it like I had a fly ball out to like somewhat deep left center field, but it showed enough improvement to get me back in the lineup the next day. Right. Yeah. That night, I called my dad. And I was like, Dad, I don't care. I'll drop all the teacher man stuff. I'll drop all the hitting Twitter stuff. I just want to get a hit. Whatever I have to do to get hit, just tell me how to do that, and I'll do that.
Yeah.
We went in the cage, and we did the shoulder thing, and then I also started chopping wood. I literally tried to swing directly down at my front knee.
Really?
Instead of doing this, I tried to swing like that, like straight down at my front knee, like straight up, shoulder like that. And I started hitting the ball. And I was like, this makes no sense, but the ball's going in place, I'll do it. But these feels are not right. I have no barrel depth. I have no coil. Like I got none of it, but I'm hitting the ball. Next day I go out, first pitch, 109 miles an hour to right center field, 434 feet for a home run. I'm like, sick.
All right. Here we go.
Next at bat, fastball, middle in. I'm a little bit early on it. 109, pull side double. I'm like, holy crap, this is working. Don't know what's going on, but I'm getting hits. Next AB, I ended up like hitting like a foul out or whatever. And then my last AB, I hit my dad said curveball. It was actually a changeup that I went down to one knee and I hit it 101 to left center for a single. I went 3 for 4 that day. And I'm like, wow, like I have a ride. I almost hit for the cycle. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So next day happens and I get my phone and I'm in the SEC. So it's all recorded. Right.
Yeah.
And I get to see my swing pattern. Right. And I'm like, there's no barrel depth. There's like none of the things that are happening, like are showing up. Like these mechanics are awful. Like this is not going to play in the big leagues. Like this is not going to be a big league swinger right now. So after going 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a single, I overhaul my swing just because I don't like the mechanics. Although it worked in the game, just because the video didn't look the way I wanted it to, I changed it.
I've been there, buddy.
Great. Great. Like that makes so much sense. So we go on, and I have midweek game, don't do so well. And then like we played Georgia. I might hit like I think I hit a home run against Georgia. One hit in that series, I had a home run against them. And then what happened? I go to Auburn, and then Auburn came to us, and that ended up being my best series. I think I had 2 home runs that weekend. But there's a ton of swing and miss, and every day I saw my swing and I didn't see the pattern show up, I would revert back to the things that didn't work, that to me looked better on video, because I was so addicted to the video was a gold standard. So I was going to match the pattern. If it didn't match the pattern, it wasn't going to play in the big leagues. Right. So even though it was working, I was getting hits with it, I went away from it. Like it's like the dumbest thing ever. It's like, Ian, do you have any brain cells at all? It's my most mind-blowing thing ever. It's like, this thing is working in the SEC. It's the first time you've ever had success. Now let's go and change it. Like, dude, what do we do? Like, are you trying to help yourself? Anyway, it's impressive. But it's the story of my life. It's a story of constantly falling into that perfection trap.
Adrian Morales had a story about you similar. We'll get to that at some point, but similar stuff.
Man. Yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. He's probably on a lot of those. But yeah, so go on. And then, what happened? My first start was a week before SEC play. After that, we start SEC play, and I'm actually the first 2 or 3 weeks in the SEC, I'm leading the league in league play home runs with like 4 home runs in league play. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Like I'm feeling really good. Then, then I just stopped touching the baseball completely. Yeah. Then I went back to old old swing habits. Because I tried to match pattern, and that was the downfall of that. End up hitting under the Mendoza line.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you fall out of favor with the coaching staff and get some bench time, or how'd that kind of play out then?
So yeah, I definitely fell out of favor with the coach staff and got some bench time. I pretty much didn't play. Like I got 30 or 40 at bats, 30 at bats consecutively, and I hit those 5 home runs.
Yeah.
And then whatever hits, I think maybe like 2 or 3 other hits after that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get consistent at bats for the rest of the year. I was like every other weekend or pinch it there, pinch it there. So yeah, I remember the worst was we were getting beat by Vandy. It was like 21-8, and it's like 45 degrees out. It's the bottom. It's the last inning, and they bring out some lefty who's 97 miles per hour. And I've been on the bench all day. They're beating us by 11 runs, and I'm like, there's no way they've brought a 6'7" lefty who's up to 97. Like this is ridiculous. And I go out first pitch, breaking ball, and he's got a 97-mile fastball. Swing over 3 breaking balls. I sit down. I was like, all right, you know what? This year's pretty much done for me.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well then, dude, it's not unlike freshmen in D1 baseball to get some looks, a little bit here and there sometime, but not a full-time starter. At what point did you know that it was time for you to move on in your baseball career from South Carolina?
Yeah, so I probably should have handled this a bit better, but I didn't tell the coaching staff that I was leaving when I left. That they had no clue, actually. I might have even told them that I planned on coming back. And the real reason why I did that was because I wasn't completely sure on what JUCO I was going to. So I didn't want to completely give up whatever leverage I had. And I end up without a school. But I'd say probably April, I just late April, early May, I was like, it's time to go to JUCO. My equipment manager, talked to me about it because he's a baseball fanatic at the time. Rest in peace, Ryan Fisher, by the way. And he's actually the one who connected me with Adrian Morales, because he's a third baseman during Fish's first year as an equipment manager, and that's how I ended up getting a scholarship to Miami-Dade. But I didn't tell the coaches I was leaving, and I knew I needed to leave because I knew I needed to go somewhere where I could fail as much as I want to and figure it out. And I knew JUCO was the level for that. So
and still have some leash to stay on the field. You mean like you could have some tough moments?
I still have some leash. Yeah. Like if I go to a JUCO where the coach likes me, and he feels like he can really work with me, I'm gonna have a lot of opportunities to fail. And in the SEC, I didn't have that many opportunities to fail, because if you look at my baseball career, I played half my sophomore year in high school, and I played 1 full season my senior year in high school, and that's all the baseball I played in all of high school, really. So I had no reps, pretty much, so I needed a time where I could just get a bunch of at bats and figure it out.
Yeah, man, dude, more and more of our stories are syncing up. I had a year and a half worth of college at bats. I was in college for 5 years, had a redshirt year, could have had a 6th redshirt year, a year and a half of at bats, dude. The most infuriating thing. Let's get to some. We're closing in on 2 hours here. Let's get to some Josiah stuff here. Love this guy. Let's go. But before we move on to some Miami-Dade stuff, so let's go. First impressions. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, buddy.
So when I first met Ian, we were at a pre-draft workout with the San Diego Padres. It was his draft year, so he just graduated high school. I was going into my senior year of high school, so I wasn't even draft eligible yet.
Yeah.
But we kind of just kicked it off with, talking about us both being committed to University of South Carolina. And first impressions was, pretty cool guy, but wasn't until I actually got to college, where obviously being college teammates, you get close. Yeah. But really the first thing that stood out to me was his personality. I've never seen Ian not have a smile or, be laughing, cutting up with the guys. That was really the first thing that stood out to me, is he's a great guy to be around. Very good locker room guy and very knowledgeable in the game of baseball.
Loved it. Josiah, you got anything, or keep rolling, buddy? Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I do remember that pre-draft workout that I met Josiah, and he out-hit me at that one, by the way. So,
really?
Tidbit there. He did out-hit me at that pre-draft workout. Okay. I don't even think I didn't hit one ball out. I was top spinning things left and right. It was bad.
Okay. Next one is going to be 13-year-old. Here we go.
Just honestly, his athleticism. I remember him showing us a picture of him when he was 13, And I thought he was lying because he was built like Bo Jackson. And it was, till this day, he's probably the most physical athlete I've ever played with. And I've played with some pretty good baseball players.
Sure.
But yeah, he's at the top of that. So just his physicality and his athleticism, those were the first things that really stood out to him as a baseball player.
Okay. This next one is going to be called, Carry Me Off.
Yes, I remember one particular injury that I actually witnessed.
A good one.
I think we're doing like team defense or like live at bats off a machine, whatever it may be. But he went to jump up for a ball in the outfield, kind of landed funny, and ended up like tearing his PCL in his knee.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where, like, as soon as he hit the ground, you knew something was wrong. But 2 hours later, we get done with practice, and Ian's up in the training room. He's like, I don't care if I have to go through another surgery, whatever it may be. I'm playing through it. Thankfully, he didn't have to get surgery. He just played through it. But that was one injury I remember, and he was like, yeah, this is like the fifth body part I've torn up until this point. I think he was finally fully healthy from Tommy John. So as soon as he got healthy from Tommy John, it was PCL. And then my first full year in pro ball, so this would have been 2023, he randomly calls me up, and he's like, yeah, ended up tearing my like ACL again. I'm like, Ian, dude, I think it might be time for you to, step away from the game. Like, your body's tearing down. Because at that point, I'd already went through my fourth surgery. I was coming back from Tommy John. And he was like, nope. He said, they're going to have to carry me off in a stretcher before I give up playing baseball. He said, I'll play through every single injury.
I love that.
So adversity is like the word that comes to mind with Ian, because I've witnessed him battle through injury, play through injury, and literally he would need to be in a stretcher before anyone could take him off the field.
Carry me off in a stretcher, my guy. That's powerful. What a cool quote.
Into that.
Do you remember that? Saying that?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the exact end I was talking about. It was, so I guess I had it wrong. It wasn't a spring scrimmage when I tore my MCL and LCL. I guess it might have been like a practice thing, but that's what he was talking about right there, my sophomore year. I remember that it was like,
okay. And then his last one here is going to be be around. Here we go.
Off the field, yes, just because with Ian's personality, he's a guy you want to be around. Anytime he'd be in the locker room, I would immediately go up and we would just talk and talk and talk. Even now, like, he'll randomly give me a phone call like 11 p.m. at night, and we'll talk for like 2 to 3 hours. So a lot of good off the field memories with him. One was a tailgate we were at. First time I seen Ian in probably 3 years, and we immediately sat down, we caught up, and just enjoyed the rest of the day like we were old college buddies, which obviously we were. But just he's just one of those guys you want to be around on and off the field.
Don't worry, Ian. I did not ask any locker room stories at all. There's going to be nothing popping up like that. So.
He said tailgate. I got worried for a second.
I know. I saw you be like, "Oh boy, here we go." But I trust me. I don't do salacious stuff. Obviously, I played too. I have a deep respect for the locker room. I'm not trying to make anyone look silly. We all had fun times in college, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's our Josiah stuff there. Are we still cool to? Is 2 hours like a good window for us here?
However much time you need, we can keep going. We can keep ripping. It's up to you, man.
Okay. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of stuff here. So I think we do need 2 sessions. Are you still cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're going to get through all of it, man. We're just
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a lot here. So we're through our Josiah stuff. I think this would be a fun place to wrap it up here. Is I would love to hear how did you come up with the phrase "I failed so you don't have to"? That's your, that's been your coined phrase. I love it. It's simple. It says so much, speaks volumes. Where'd that come from?
Yeah. So like I said, I get a lot of this stuff from my dad. I'm just able to say it a bit better. But growing up to me, he would always tell me, he's like, I've already been through this and figured it out. So I can hand you the keys to the kingdom, and you don't have to waste time figuring out like I had to. Like, he would always tell me something of that nature. And essentially it's, I failed so you don't have to. And I feel like that is the embodiment of my career. I tried everything and I failed, and I failed so you don't have to. So I'm going to teach you everything I learned from it. And that's where it came from my dad on his journey learning things and trying to help me out with mine.
Oh man, that's beautiful. We are through our stuff from Noah, Josiah, and Jacob, but I had a few quotes that I wanted to riff off of them that I didn't turn into clips
Yeah.
here. So if there's anything that you think is worthy of a talking point here, but uh, was it Jacob? Yeah, Jacob loved his story about you, about coming into the locker room and seeing you when they're sleeping was awesome. And I just think like that's such a hitting dude. Like that encapsulates Ian Jenkins, or what I think I know about Ian Jenkins in so many ways. He told a funny story about you guys were on the phone one time, and he like said you won't run 3 miles to my house or something like that. And before he knew it, you just got up and ran 3 miles to his house. Do you remember this?
Oh, we had this thing to where
Let's go.
we were all about like mental strength and mental fortitude. We hated mental weakness. And my thing was I would always say that it's all mental.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he would call me and do things like that. We would also do things to where we'd be like at the bar and he'd be like, having a good time. Like, you won't run home right now. You won't do it. And like, just because he wants to stay and continue having fun, like he's not going to do it because that's being mentally weak and giving in. So he sprinted home in cowboy boots, like a mile and a half from the bar one time. I remember one time, the dude doesn't say anything to me. He comes to my apartment unannounced, opens the door, no knock, looks at me, says no words, gets on the ground, does 100 push-ups, gets up, leaves, and never says anything. And I'm just like, what just happened? Like what? And then he texts me like a few hours later. He's like, I did that because I didn't feel like doing push-ups, so I decided to come over to your house and do 100. I was like, I love it. I love it. We're not mentally weak around here.
No mental weakness there. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Awesome. And some Noah stuff here. Called you best friends, roommates in college, hit together all the time. He said for sure could have seen you going further in pro ball, 80 power on scale, 70 plus arm tools. Talked about how impressed he was you playing through your injuries. Fond memories, here we go, of playing hit tracks games. So you guys would do hit tracks like teammates. And he said if you had Ian on your team, it was over. It was just that you won. So do you remember that hit track stuff with him?
Dude, great times. We would play against, if you remember the name, like Wes Clark and Brady Allen, and maybe like Josiah would be on the team too or something. But like that was my game because they didn't read like spin rate or anything. So I could just hit the ball up in the air really hard and hit a bunch of home runs. And it's off pitch machine. Nobody's trying to strike me out. So that was the only time I was beating those guys in a hitting competition.
He also shared a funny story one time. He said you guys were at a gas station and you had a Hummer and you put 75 cents in your Hummer one time. And what you got?
Oh, he did me dirty. Yeah, man. That thing was a gas guzzler. It was hard to get around. And we had just finished, I guess we just finished practice or something. And I have like $1.10 in my account. I'm like, all right, we got to get home somehow. So I put all I could in there, dude. Put 75 cents and we got home.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to do. All right. Hey, man, we're at 2 hours here. I think this is a good place to pause it or stop because next up we're going to get into Miami-Dade and I got a bunch of Adrian stuff. Unless you want to keep rolling for like another half hour here. Otherwise, this is a good place to stop. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go ahead and stop and resume next time. And I guess the next session will be like another 2 hour session, hour and a half probably.
I think we should knock it out then. Has this been a good experience for you, brother?
Dude, this is awesome. I've enjoyed this. You've done an incredible job, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Let me ask you this. What did you think when I first got a hold of you? And I was like, hey, man, I want to do a deep dive on your career. You're like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I really didn't know like what to expect because I've never had somebody like dive. So like actually interview other people and stuff like that. I was super interested to see how it was going to turn out. And I was like, yeah, this is a pretty cool opportunity to see what some of my teammates think about me without my presence around. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
It's honestly really cool to hear these things and to relive this. It's awesome, man. It's a real treat. Seriously.
I appreciate that. I can tell that it seems like you're into it. I think we're vibing, and it's got to be unique hearing your peers, the people that you respect the most, speak about you and how they saw you, and they're like you said, like without you there, right? So, anyway, guys, all right, this is going to be the post game spread, the Ian Jenkins story, part 1. We're going to get on out of here. We appreciate your time.